The boy once had a beautiful and happy family, a warm home with everything he could ever want. An honest and kind father, a gentle and beautiful mother. But all of these wonderful things were destroyed in a single night. The beginning of this tragedy, the spark that lit this fire, was simply because he saved someone from a group of thugs. To pay the price, the ultimate sacrifice. In an instant, everything was lost. To ensure he would survive, his mother pushed him off a cliff into the sea, hoping he could escape this fate. Fortunately, it was not the boy's time to die. He was saved by a master and taken in as a disciple, rescued by an elite and began his training. But in the days that followed, throughout the passing years, day after day, he could not find peace in his heart. Dreams. Every time he dreamed of that man from his nightmares, every single time he saw his face, he would charge forward with a blade without hesitation, screaming, "I will avenge my parents," but it always ended in failure. Haunted by the shadows of the past, waking up in a cold sweat, frustrated with himself. After every nightmare, he would feel such self-loathing. The boy stood alone under the moonlight. He woke up feeling utterly powerless. Upon waking, he was filled with resentment. He felt deeply that he was still not strong enough. Deep down, he knew his power was lacking. The realization hit him, he was still weak. He was simply no match for that man yet. To follow in his master's footsteps, training relentlessly under his mentor, striving to surpass his limits, pushing himself to the absolute brink, practicing diligently every day to be prepared. At first, the girl did not understand Yi Chen's intentions. She even thought she had a wardrobe malfunction. She hurriedly checked behind her. Seeing nothing wrong, she cursed Yi Chen for being a pervert. She did not forget to give him the middle finger as she left. Yi Chen sighed helplessly. Why is it so hard to do a good deed these days? No good deed goes unpunished, it seems. Thinking back to the massacre of his family 5 years ago, Yi Chen's heart suddenly tightened. Every blood debt I will repay 1,000-fold. Unknowingly, he released a terrifying aura. His inner fury manifested as a crushing pressure. A sharp, cold intent radiated from him. An overwhelming presence burst forth from his body. This immense pressure caused people nearby to feel dizzy and blurred. Those who were weak collapsed instantly. He quickly withdrew his murderous intent. The surroundings finally returned to normal. Carrying the mission given by his master, Yi Chen first arrived at the manhwa group in Zhongcheng. He remembered the old man mentioning this before, that he once had ties with the manhwa group. The old man had some love-hate entanglements with their elder. Now that the elder's granddaughter is in trouble, he sends me to deal with the disaster for him. I am honestly impressed. Still can't let it go after all this time. When he tried to enter the building, his path was blocked by the security guards at the door. The guards stopped him right there. Yi Sen chuckled and said that he was there to find someone. He was looking for a person named Sha Ruoshui. Also, the guard stated that CEO Sha was very busy. Do you have an appointment? Otherwise, unauthorized personnel cannot enter. Yi Shen did not want to cause trouble at the elevator. Sit over there and wait for him. The bodyguard stopped him in his tracks. Do you think just anyone can see him? A penniless loser like you is not worthy. Get the hell out of here, now. Seeing this, Yi Chen simply glanced back. Chen turned his head and looked at them. His gaze was cold and sharp. He sat down directly, ignoring the distance. The bodyguard stood frozen as if nailed to the spot. His face was filled with utter terror. What is going on? It felt as if death itself was knocking at the door. A lingering sense of mortality filled the air. He walked over swaggeringly and sat on the sofa. People nowadays really have no manners. Why force me to get my hands dirty? Is there no one in charge here? Tell the person in charge to come out this instant. This man possesses skills that could move heaven and earth. JXJA, the hidden master. Go, DUHJ. A woman appeared, dressed in a gorgeous evening gown. Her elegant dress radiated sophistication. She drew the gaze of nearly every man present. Following behind her, Yi Chen looked completely out of place. Walking right behind, he seemed like a misfit. Ignoring the stares, the two walked toward an empty seat. But how could the men there let her go so easily? Trying to show off how powerful they were, full of arrogance and pride, they came forward to introduce their impressive backgrounds. Sun Yi seemed long accustomed to such scenes. She was used to this kind of attention. She raised her glass, remaining speechless. Seeing this, he could not hold back any longer. He stepped forward and snatched the wine glass. How about I have a few drinks with you on her behalf? The men surrounding them immediately began to curse. Who the hell do you think you are? I do not need a nobody like you to drink with me. Just as Yi Chen was about to teach them a lesson and make them see stars, Sun Yi quickly held him back. That is not how you decline a drink, you know. Leave this to me. Holding the glass, she smiled and said, I am not good at drinking. Drink up. MNE, inside. If nothing goes wrong, something is about to go wrong. Trouble is brewing right on schedule. A discordant voice cut through the air. Sister Sun, is not this a bit much? Approaching, a young man appeared. An arrogant youth walked over from the crowd. Sun Yi's heart skipped a beat when she saw him. She remembered him as Chen Feng, the second young master of the Chen family. She had splashed wine in his face at the last cocktail party. He was clearly here for payback. He had been waiting for this opportunity. The atmosphere became incredibly tense. Last time you left without saying goodbye. That really made me lose face. You are going to drink this entire bottle. Understand one thing, I am not asking you. This is an order. Although Sun Yi was panicked. You, frozen. Give it to her now, Sun. Voice. Warning, the situation escalated. Don't even think about walking out that door. Even if your CEO shows up today, you are still drinking this. Waiting. Expecting. Imminent. The wine bottle. It is Yi Chen. He finally could not just stand by anymore. He stepped in front of Sun Yi to shield her. Chen Feng was just about to lash out with insults, when suddenly, a bottle of 82 Lafite, that bottle of 82, smashed right into him. A heavy blow sent him sprawling to the ground. By the time the crowd realized what happened, Chen Feng was already on the floor, crying for his mother, clutching his head and crying for his mother. How dare this guy hit me? This guy actually hit me. He used such force. How dare you do this? Who do you think you are to try and force her? Everyone in the hall was stunned. They began to whisper, is this guy crazy? The atmosphere became incredibly tense as they watched. Chen Feng is the young master of the powerful Chen family in Zhongcheng. It is said that his family even has a top-tier martial arts expert. He is finished. What should we do? Sun Yi was panicked, not knowing how to handle the situation. She was worried because Yi Chen was innocent. Why did he have to get involved in this? She hurried forward to apologize, trying to take all the blame on herself. She attempted to protect him by claiming it was her fault, but Chen Feng was determined to have his revenge. With a wave of his hand, he brushed Sun Yi aside. He roared, what right do you have to negotiate with me? You have no right. Neither of you is getting away. As the words left his mouth, he lunged forward. Yi Chen, with a cold expression, Yi Sen kicked him directly, aiming to turn him into a eunuch. Suddenly, Chen Feng's head was not the only thing hurting. Kneel down. Grabbing him, Yi Chen grabbed him by the head. He felt the lesson was not finished yet. He slammed him toward the floor. Just at that moment, two people approached, surrounded by a group. A crowd of bodyguards escorted two men toward them. One of them was an elderly man with an extraordinary aura. He was wearing a traditional martial arts uniform. Seeing Chen Feng in such a pathetic state on the ground, the middle-aged man shouted, let him go. This man was Chen Zhengguo, the head of the Chen family. This man possessed unfathomable strength. Having returned to the city, he unexpectedly met the girl he cared for the most, but he noticed a faint blood-red shadow on her forehead. This is a premonition of a great disaster. At the gala, Chen Zhengguo was fuming with rage. Chen Zhengguo was absolutely livid at the sight. Chen Feng looked up, crying out to his father for help. Sun Yi could not hide her shock and fear. She wondered why Chen Zhengguo was here too. It would be even harder for Yi Chen to escape now. Yi Chen let go of Chen Feng. Chen Feng scrambled toward Chen Zhengguo. The man in the martial arts uniform stood tall. The master in the training uniform radiated a powerful presence. He was a renowned master of the martial arts world. The expert they had invited was indeed formidable. Over on Chen Feng's side, he looked aggrieved and whined, Dad, this guy just attacked me for no reason. I was just trying to help, but he hit me. He showed no respect at all. You must seek justice for me. But Chen Zhengguo barked, shut up. Shut your mouth, Chen Zhengguo snapped. Chen Zhengguo told him to shut up. Quiet, he commanded. Stop embarrassing us. He turned to the elder beside him, Elder Ming. What exactly is this kid's background? Old Ming, however, remained unimpressed. He felt this kid was far too young. To him, Yi Chen likely only possessed some amateurish skills. Chen Zhengguo's hesitation vanished completely. With a fierce expression he barked, I have been too kind. Attack. No. Excellent. Go. Die. Hearing this, Old Ming acted immediately. Nothing but talk. A bit of skill. Ha! I am surprised someone so young has actually cultivated his meridians. But you have provoked the wrong person today. He unleashed a lethal move, charging forward like a predator cornering its prey. In an instant he reached Yi Chen and sneered, beg for mercy, and I might just leave your corpse intact. Yi Sen, however, remained completely indifferent. He stood there calmly, his aura as cold as ice. Old man, I wonder if you have already picked out your coffin, or if there is anyone left to bury you once you are gone. "Is there anyone to see you off?" Old Ming, seeing him still dare to mock him, revealed a look of pure savagery. He held nothing back. He struck directly with a powerful palm aimed at the heart, a killing blow aimed straight for the chest. He unleashed his ultimate seal to crush the life out of him. But Yi Chen was as slippery as an eel. He nimbly evaded every single strike. Just as the old man lunged with everything he had, Yi Chen wasted no more words. He countered with a single devastating punch. The force of the blow slammed the old man violently into the ground. Debris and stone fragments sprayed everywhere. As the dust settled, the once arrogant and invincible old man was now sprawled helplessly on the floor. He had been knocked unconscious instantly. The hard floor beneath him had spider-webbed with deep cracks. The sheer power of that one punch was terrifying. Yi Chen even took a moment to complain about the old man's lack of sportsmanship, especially that pathetic sneak attack. Everyone else in the room stood frozen, their faces turning pale. The shock was visible on everyone's faces. A heavy silence fell over the entire hall. The Chen father and son were paralyzed with fear. The immensely powerful old Ming had been defeated so quickly. How is this even possible? The battered old Ming finally regained consciousness. In total disbelief, he asked, Who exactly are you? How can your cultivation be so terrifying? Yi Chen toyed with him. Weren't you acting all high and mighty just a moment ago? You want to know who I am? You are not worthy. His final words carried a chilling resonance, sending ripples of sonic pressure through the air. No one was spared from the force. They all clutched their ears in pain. The old man spat out a mouthful of blood, directly hit. This time it was clear he was completely finished. Trembling, Yi Chen then turned his gaze toward Chen Zhengguo. Radiating a murderous intent, he said, "The debt from the Yi family massacre. Your Chen family had a hand in it too." Chen Zhengguo was now white with terror. He scrambled backward in a panic. He kept retreating as Yi Chen stepped toward him. He shouted for his bodyguards to stop him. The bodyguards hesitated for a long time. But to protect their paychecks, they tried to overwhelm Yi Chen with numbers. They charged forward, swinging their fists. But to someone like him, they were just trash. Yi Chen sent them flying with a single blow. After cleaning up the mob, he rolled his shoulders and said, "You should have just stayed in your place and behaved." Before the echoes of his voice faded, a loud thud rang out. The Chen father and son dropped to their knees at light speed, throwing all dignity to the wind. They began apologizing to Yi Chen incessantly. But Yi Chen had no intention of letting them go. Just as he was about to take action, a group of fully armed police officers suddenly appeared. Among them was a sharp-looking woman with short hair. "Stop, get away from those two. This man's strength is unfathomable. This man possesses power beyond measure. He is currently under protection. Since his return to the city, he has been under close watch." Just a moment ago, as soon as Yi Chen sat down on the sofa, urgent footsteps suddenly echoed through the room. A squad of fully geared security personnel rushed in. They quickly surrounded Yi Chen. A man in a suit with a buzz cut stepped forward. "I am the head of security here. You are causing a scene, and that is bad for business. We need you to clear out of here immediately. Please cooperate, or we will have to escort you out." But Yi Chen seemed to have run out of patience. His cold aura began to radiate once again. He emphasized that he was only here for a specific person. "Don't get in my way." The security lead felt a sudden chill down his spine. It felt as if he were facing a literal demon, as if a monster was standing right before him. It was the gaze of a devil. However, one does not become a captain by being a coward. He quickly softened his tone and said, "Sir, I apologize. President Xia is not in the office today. Why do not you leave your number? I will let her know as soon as she is back." "All right. What do you say?" He thought Yi Chen would leave after hearing that. Instead, he watched as Yi Chen sat back down on the sofa. "I have got nothing but time anyway. I will just wait right here. You can ignore me." The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. He is looking for trouble. This is my rice bowl on the line. There is only one way this ends. Move in. Take him down. Strike now. Go, go, go. Move out, brothers. Just as things were about to escalate, right as the conflict reached its breaking point, a graceful figure slowly approached. She interrupted the clash. "Look." Everyone turned to look. Every eye in the room shifted toward her. The newcomer was the company's director, Sun Yi. Her beauty and elegance were enough to brighten the entire floor. She did not seem concerned for her own safety at all. She stood directly in front of Yi Chen. She spoke up, "I am the one in charge here." Sun Yi apologized for the previous offense. "May I ask if you have urgent business here, sir?" Yi Chen stood up, his heart wavering as he saw her. Looking at her, memories began to flood back. Seeing her again made his heart skip a beat. Of all the people he could not let go of these past 5 years, Sun Yi was definitely one of them. They had been desk mates for a year back in middle school. They used to be very close, but they had rarely contacted each other after graduation. After they finished school, they went their separate ways. The connection had faded over the years. After his family's tragedy, Sun Yi ignored her own family's objections. She endured the rumors and the fear. She personally arranged the burial for his family. To this day, he still could not fully wrap his head around it. How could a seemingly fragile woman be so incredibly brave? How could he ever repay such kindness? Yi Chen, how can I ever deserve such devotion from her? Sir, are not you standing a bit too close? Coming back to her senses, she realized the proximity. Snapping out of it, she noticed how close they were. She felt a bit flustered by his intense gaze. She took a small step back to regain her composure. He quickly apologized. Sun Yi saw that Yi Ken did not mean any harm. He allowed him to wait there for the person. Then he turned around and left. Half an hour later, Sun Yi appeared in the parking lot. Just as she sat in the driver's seat, ready to start the car, she looked into the rear-view mirror. She was nearly scared to death. Yi Chen had appeared in the back seat out of nowhere, sending her back to the Yunyu Villa area, back to the medical center near the villa entrance, back to the small gate of the medical center. Weren't you waiting for someone? Yi Chen showed a faint smile, indicating he just wanted to hitch a ride. Things were handled safely and excellently. Daily matters were all taken care of smoothly. At this moment, she relaxed her guard a bit. She asked, by the way, what is your name? I can't just let a mysterious stranger into my car, right? Yi Chen noticed the aura was glowing intensely. The light is now fading. He observed the blood-red light flickering. The blood-red light is dimming. This is a sign that something big is about to happen. An hour later, Sun Yi appeared at the evening party in a formal gown. Looking at Sun Yi in her gorgeous evening dress, the elegant gown she wore attracted the gaze of almost every man present. Yi Chen, following closely behind, seemed completely out of place. Ignoring the stares, the two walked toward empty seats. But how could the men there let him off so easily? Those men, they would not let him be. They came over to brag about how powerful they were. Sun Yi seemed to have anticipated this scene long ago. Sun Yi seemed to have grown accustomed to such situations. The wine in the glass swirled, leaving her speechless. Seeing the situation, Yi Chen could not hold back anymore. He stepped forward and snatched the wine glass. How about I drink a few rounds with you all on her behalf? If this woman invited you to move into her house, if this woman asked you to move in, how long would you stay? Only then. The policewoman looked at the man above. The policewoman was watching closely. It was hard to explain. As for Chen Jingwo treated it like a life-saving straw, showing the look of a desperate kidnapper, showing a lingering expression of shock, relieved. Even the strongest must yield in the face of this. Old Ming, who had taken a beating, trembled as he tried to get up. Old Ming, battered, tried to stand. Battered Old Ming crawled up tremblingly. Just now. Isn't this the Chen family's so-called trainee? Why is he in such a pathetic state? Was it that kid's doing again? But Yi Sen remained perfectly calm. He casually grabbed Chen Zhengguo's hair and said, Officer, stop playing games, my good man. I am merely acting out of righteous bravery. You should see that clearly. Seeing the situation, the woman hastily drew her gun and aimed it at Yi Chen. Cease this violent act. I said stop this harmful behavior right now, or I will have to light you up. Yi Chen, however, remained as cool as a cucumber. He lifted Chen Zhengguo up again and said, this is a private matter. You would better stay out of it. As soon as he spoke, even those used to his arrogance were stunned. They wondered if this guy had a screw loose. The policewoman was also left speechless. The officer stood there in silence. She shouted again, hands behind your head, get down. This is your second warning. Just as Yi Chen was about to defy her, Sun Yi reached out and interrupted him. She quickly spoke up, I am sorry, everyone. She hurriedly tried to explain. This is bad. She quickly spoke up, I am so sorry, everyone. She continued, he just quit his internet addiction. His coordination is still a bit off. He must be having a muscle cramp. Then she whispered to Yi Chen, urging him to drop it. But Yi Chen still wanted to talk back. Sun Yi pulled him again, signaling him to stay calm and play along. Otherwise, I am unfriending you for real. Just listen to me for once. She easily forced Yi Chen back into his seat. See, he is being very well behaved now. You guys, he already. Look, content deleted. Showing that Yi Chen was acting in the rest. Then, in the video, the old man following Chen Zhengguo, the moment he faced off against Yi Chen, he was floored by a single needle. The speed at which the backup arrived was suspiciously slow. By the time they arrived, the response time was unusually delayed. Unexpectedly, someone managed to delete parts of the footage. The evidence at the scene was clearly tampered with. Since there is not enough evidence, we can only rule this as justifiable self-defense. They then released Yi Chen and Sun Yi. Stepping out, the fresh air felt much better. Sun Yi said, see, I told you listening to your big sister pays off. Everything is fine now, is not it? Yi Chen knew this matter was far from over. The situation. Chen Jingguo is a snake in the grass. He won't let this go. He needed to find time to eliminate this nuisance permanently. Suddenly noticing Sun Yi staring at him, Yi Sen quickly asked, "Why do you keep staring at me? I wanted to ask where you are staying. I will give you a ride back. I just arrived here and have not found a place yet. I will just crash at the park. No big deal. Sleeping in the park tonight will do. How about you stay at my place? I have an extra room available. It is not very big, but it beats the park any day." Afterwards, Yi Chen, after sitting for a while, a car was driving through the city streets. Sun Yi looked at Yi Chen. Thinking about the deleted footage, she was puzzled. The Chen family's bodyguards are all top-tier elites. How could they, in front of this guy, be as weak as children against the wind? She randomly dialed a number. "Senior brother, I have something I need your help with." Meanwhile, in the Siberian Ural Mountains, a house appeared in the field of vision. A cabin stood alone in the distance. Inside, a red-haired man was flipping a dagger. His movements were lightning fast as he toyed with the blade. He was indeed the senior brother the woman called. He muttered, "Is this girl ever going to stay out of trouble?" He complained, "Does my little sister ever take a break?" He grumbled, "Is she always looking for drama?" He sighed, "Can't she just live a quiet life? With her skills, why stay in such a small place? And she calls me all day to help solve cases. I am, after all, the boss of these mountains." He sighed again, setting it aside. He decided he might as well check it out for her. Yi Chen used to fight alongside beasts in the jungle every day. The days he was pushed to the brink were countless, but he endured it for 5 whole years. At this moment, inside an apartment, Sun Yi, fresh out of the shower, looked particularly radiant. Yi Chen could not help but give a mental thumbs up. He thought, "This girl really has no guard up around me at all." The next second, he also headed for the bathroom. He rushed toward, but at this moment, he recalled how 5 years ago, he was betrayed by his master's brother. Those people were so ruthless back then. They bet on his life without a second thought. They threw him into a cage. On the very first day, he was tossed into the prison pits, forced to face a tiger that had not eaten for 3 days. Though he narrowly survived and claimed victory, the debt from those high and mighty people must be repaid. Vengeance. Those bastards, they will crawl like monkeys. Endure it. Every single one of them. He will make every last one of them pay the ultimate price. Meanwhile, over at Sun Yi's place, while cutting fruit, she suddenly remembered something. She did not have any spare clothes for Yi Sen to change into here. But suddenly, the laundry she just washed, her freshly washed underwear was still in there. She rushed toward the bathroom in a panic. Sprinting to the bathroom, her heart racing, she shouted toward the door, "Yi Chen, do not come out yet. Let me grab something." At that moment, Yi Chen, completely bare-chested, swung the bathroom door open. After a moment of frozen silence, Sun Yi's face flushed red and she bolted back to her room. Lying on the bed, her mind was stuck on that scene. Inside the manor. Meanwhile, inside the Chen family villa, Donghua was pacing back and forth anxiously. Chen Feng tried to comfort him, saying his injuries needed rest, not stress. Chen Feng urged him to calm down and stop pacing. Chen Feng reminded him that the doctor warned against intense agitation, but what he got in return was a father's fierce love. It turned out that although Elder Ming survived the beating, after 2 years of cultivation, he was now effectively crippled. Without Elder Ming's protection, who would still respect us as a prominent martial arts family? Chen Feng clutched his face and muttered, "Don't we still have Grandpa? They would not dare to cross us." Chen Jingwo, however, felt a wave of dread washing over him. The two of them immediately decided to seek out the old master tomorrow. Right at that moment, just as he was fantasizing about torturing the two of them, Yi Chen's shadow suddenly flickered by the window, a silhouette of death. A cold sweat broke out. Look at Yi Chen standing there, gazing at Yi Chen. You really should have been a law-abiding citizen. You should have followed the rules. No. A cold flash of light swept past Wang Feng's throat. The sound of the wind was abruptly cut short. You thought I would not dare to kill. Do you still feel that way now? Chen Jingguo looked at his son lying on the ground. This ruthless man actually shed tears of despair. Whether it was heartbreak or the terror of his family's end, it was over. Clearly, we had no grievances or enmity. No bad blood between us. We were never enemies. Why? No grievances. Ha! Pathetic. What a joke. No grievances. Let me ask you, Chen Jingguo. The light of the king. The light of a warrior. The light. And that incredibly venomous mouth of yours. You are that trash from the Yi family, the one who fell off the cliff. Yi Chen, how is this possible? Weren't you supposed to be dead? Your family is finished. Let me tell you another secret. I am not some old master as you call me. I am not some guardian you can just buy. I am not just an elder. I am a cultivator. Even if a grandmaster of martial arts stands behind you, it changes nothing. Even the entire sect. I, Yi Chen, can cut it down with a single stroke of my sword. With enough power and logic, the path becomes clear. And so, Chen Jingguo was dealt with directly. At this moment atop Mount Wuyi, an elder. The elder was levitating meditating in deep cultivation. Bursts of lightning flickered around his body. Suddenly, his expression twisted in pain. It seemed as if he had sensed something. He abruptly coughed up a mouthful of blood. What is going on? Zheng Guo and Feng are both dead. Who dares to murder my descendants? I, Chen Yuanli, swear upon the heavenly Tao, I will personally hunt you down, slay you where you stand, and tear your body into 10,000 pieces. This place is known as the Samsara Graveyard. Those who enter can use their own will to trigger the obsessions of hundreds of powerful masters. Even the strongest foundations will tremble today. Early morning, in the high-rise buildings, everything began to stir. Inside the room, Yi Chen was still in deep cultivation, yet to wake. Threads of spiritual qi were being absorbed by him. Bit by bit, ethereal phantoms manifested around him. A moment later, Yi Chen opened his eyes. He waved his hand, feeling the spiritual qi in the air. He sighed, the spiritual qi in Huasha is far too thin. It is incomparable to that place. If I want to take the next step now, I must rely on these medicinal pills for assistance. Then a somber thought struck him. Another week, and it will be the anniversary of my parents' death. I should go visit them then. He picked up the black stone by his side that hummed softly. This was the birthday gift my father gave me when I was 11. He said it was the Yi family's heirloom, a treasure that has seen many dynasties pass. It clearly looks like an ordinary stone. Could it require a blood drop to recognize its master? Yi Chen squeezed out a drop of blood and let it fall onto it. Almost instantly, the stone erupted with an intense light. A wave of dizziness washed over Yi Chen's head. After struggling for a moment, he fell into a coma. When he woke up again, he was in a vast, open land. Yi Chen appeared in the middle of this vast expanse. He was prone on the ground, his body covered in wounds. His head felt as if it were about to explode. Clutching his head, he struggled to crawl up from the ground. He stood up with great effort, and his heart was gradually filled with shock. As far as the eye could see, the place was densely packed with tombstones. What was even more terrifying was that thousands of swords were thrust around the graves. Just as Yi Chen was about to speak, the entire ground began to vibrate violently. The 10,000 swords began to rattle against the earth. They all pulled themselves out from the ground and flew up towards the 9 heavens, soaring high into the sky. Yi Chen quickly tried to steady himself. He braced his body, struggling to maintain his balance. Before he could even react, a dark shadow suddenly appeared above the firmament. The swords gathered, hovering behind the tall silhouette, floating beneath his shadow, as if he controlled the entire macroscopic world. Suddenly, the dark shadow transformed into a giant face, and bellowed downward in a stern voice. You dare to step into the Samsara graveyard at such a late stage. You cannot even trigger a single weak obsession. If you are useless, then get lost. Yi Chen, still standing there questioning his life, after hearing that last word, felt as if he were being kicked by countless feet. When he woke up, he was already paralyzed on the bed. His entire body was drenched in cold sweat. Yi Chen quickly sat up and took several deep breaths. The path. The secrets. Could this be what the old man was talking about? Is this truly what he meant? Could this be the great secret the old man mentioned? Ancient cloud jade. Perhaps once my strength reaches a certain threshold. As long as my strength reaches it, could it be that once I reach a certain level of power, I can trigger the obsession of the masters within these tombstones? 100 tombstones. There are actually 100 tombstones inside. 100 tombstones. That life. The great masters. 100 supreme masters. The external energy is circulating through the meridians. The spiritual flow has completed its cycle. Supercharged energy is surging through the foundation. The core essence has been fully refined. Yi Chen, the moon. The life of Yi. Suppressing the inner turmoil. Suppressing the market. Will. He suppressed the shock in his heart. 100 bows. At the dining table, Yi Chen looked at the delicate breakfast meal style, finding it small. I do not even want to leave. I will dedicate myself to you, little. I will wash the dishes and cook for you. In winter, I will even warm your bed. Sun Yi generally knew Yi Chen's personality, though he talks a lot of nonsense. His heart is in the right place. She thought about it and said, we have floor heating in winter. No need for you. However, it is not impossible if you want to stay. First, the rent is settled monthly. Second, you must handle your own chores. Yi Chen suddenly realized with embarrassment that he did not seem to have a single cent. After a moment, he pulled out a piece of tissue. Using a pen from God knows where, he began writing fervently on it. Writing with great speed, he handed it to Sun Yi. 5 big characters, Junior Beauty Pill. Only 5 big words were seen, Junior Beauty Pill. This man possesses God-tier medical skills. He can easily cure diseases deemed incurable by the world. Yet now, because he can't afford rent, he is selling his craft. Missing out. You are lucky I am even eating this. Loss. When The first delivery. Everything is connected. The first delivery. Everything is connected. Yawning, people whispered that this guy is really aiming too high. What a big mouth. The maritime project's value is 0. The sailor of the Porsche is worth nothing. The uniform of a sailor is not worth much. Even the high-end gear is outdated. The political debate at the villa is starting. Cultural segment. Yi Chen felt a bit uneasy after hearing the harvest. Waiting a bit. High price, high level. Quality is not fixed yet. Lin is still worried about the decision. Suddenly, don't let the price enter the river on Yi Chen's side. Please come with me. Half an hour later, standing at the entrance of the villa, with hands on hips, she said, "This is my home." The cute girl put her hands on her hips and said, "This is my home now. Let me tell you how you should handle this." Yi Chen thought she was going to explain the patient's condition. He took off his glasses and interrupted, "As long as I, Yi Chen, am here, I guarantee the patient will be up and jumping around in no time." The girl hurriedly waved her hands. "No, no, no. You have misunderstood me. I did not bring you here to actually cure a disease. The reason I looked for you is because you have that air of a street-smart hustler who can talk his way through anything. That silver-tongued ability of yours. That look of shrewd wisdom behind those glasses." Yi Chen thought this little girl was just playing with him. He waved his hand, preparing to leave. Shen Mengya, however, did not hesitate to hand over a bank card. She said, "This is my supplementary gold card. There is 100,000 inside. As long as you follow my lead, it is yours." At this moment, Yi Chen's eyes cleared. His gaze became sharp. Yi Chen looked at her calmly. His eyes flickered as he said, "Are you trying to tell me how to do my job?" Then he took the card without a shred of hesitation. Tears began to well up in Shen Mengya's eyes. She choked up. "My father is indeed very sick. Dad is truly ill. He won't last more than a few days. The doctor said he might not hold on. I am afraid Mom won't be able to take it. Mom will be devastated." Pretend. I hope you can pretend. So I hope you can pose as a miracle healer before my father passes away, and convince him to go with you. Tell them you are taking him to the mountains for treatment. I believe that once some time has passed, Mom will eventually be able to accept the truth. Yi Chen only felt that this young lady's logic was a bit out of this world. But with me here, this is going to be a different story entirely. He patted his chest, signaling he had everything under control. He then followed Shen Mengya inside. Inside the villa, Yi Chen finally saw the father. He was lying on the bed. His breath was weak and fading. Yi Chen focused his spiritual energy into his eyes. He saw the patient's entire body enveloped in the aura of death. The aura of death was pervasive. He had already stepped through death's door. If I were a day later, no one could have saved him, Mengya said with a sob in her voice. He was diagnosed with late-stage lung cancer. We sought the best doctors available, but the results. It was not easy to invite Drive Ding from the capital, but yesterday he told us that Dad only has 1 day left to live. She spoke again with a pleading tone. You must help me keep this secret. My mother must never find out. I am really counting on you. I won't give you a penny less than promised. Just then, a noble lady wearing a cheongsam walked in. Beside her was an old man in a white lab coat. The lady entered the room and began to wail loudly. The doctor said your father does not have much time left. The doctor said your father won't last many days. Shen Mengya's eyes widened in shock after hearing this. Her plan was falling apart before it even started. Protect him. Why did it have to end like this? There was not even time for the cure. Endure it. Suddenly, Seacher, a young man appeared at the doorway and spoke coldly. One must be honest. Life, aging, sickness, and death are only natural. The cycle of life is inevitable. I witness it. I promise to give father a grand and honorable funeral. This person was Shen Mengya's older brother, Shen Menglong. He did not care if the mother beside him could handle it. He just kept talking to himself about worldly matters. Isn't dying a kind of release for him anyway? I can't bear to see Dad suffering like this anymore. The words coming out of his mouth were incredibly cold. This man clearly has other motives. Just for a few pennies, you went this far. Just for that. Scum, you really are a piece of work. Shen Mengya watched her mother slowly break down. She could not stand his hideous face any longer. She shouted at him, just for this bit of inheritance, just for this petty estate. It must be done. Directly. Speak. Him. Seeing her dare to defy him, he flew into a rage and raised his hand, striking out at Shen Mengya. At this critical moment, Yi Chen stepped in and punched Shen Luolong right in the face, instantly sending him flying back. He slammed heavily onto the ground. Looking at the man who was now as weak as a helpless chick, Yi Chen held up one finger and said, 10 million. I can cure this patient. I can save this man. The illness. The man. That man. Setting a goal for himself. He set a small target. He had to perform on the streets, penniless. Without a dime to his name, he could only showcase his skills on the street. Soon a girl took him home. The girl brought him back to her house. Regaining a glimmer of hope, She asked, Jia, is there really a way to save him? Can this young man really save him? Is there a way for this young man to cure him? Shen Mengya was secretly cursing Yi Chen for being opportunistic, but as long as she could hide the truth from her mother, it did not matter. She quickly comforted her, don't worry mom, his medical skills are extraordinary. Not a single patient he treated has ever given him a bad review. Inside the room, Yi Chen looked at the man who was at his last gasp. It is not your time to die yet. Meeting me at the final moment. Leave it to me. I will pull you back from the brink of death. The words. Yi Chen channeled his spiritual energy. Yi Chen gathered his spiritual power into his fingertips. Heaven and earth, mysterious and yellow. Spirits and demons. Yin and yang suppressed the darkness. Then his fingers quickly traced a row of golden talismans. They swirled around his body, forming a mystical array. Yi Chen directed the array, guiding the array toward the man. Suddenly, the body reacted instantly. Still recovering. Heaven. He immediately took out the silver needles. Seeing the situation, Yi Chen pulled out his silver needles. With a flick of his fingers, dozens of needles floated into the air. Yi Chen controlled the silver needles, muttering, death energy has shrouded you for days. Your meridians have long been blocked. You should have been a dead man, but there is still hope. I can save your life. If I connect your life force, I can save you. He manipulated the needles into the man's body. The needles entered every vital point of the man's body. He then drove the silver needles into the man's pressure points. He gave a powerful shout. A moment later, Yi Chen let out a thunderous cry. The death energy within the man quickly dissipated. The aura of death faded rapidly. One could see the man's deathly pallor. Suddenly, in that instant, Yi Chen was now gasping heavily for breath. I did not expect that to save him. I would have to consume nearly 80% of the true qi in my dantian. It seems I must find a way to make a breakthrough as soon as possible. Yi Chen walks out of the room, walking out, moving. He is done. The man, knowing it is done, he will wake up very soon. Upon hearing this, a look of joy appears on the noble lady's face. She quickly asks, is it true? He is about to wake up. Haihua is finally waking up. While he was preparing to step in, preparing to pass it down, Long Aotian snatched it away instantly. Snatched it, conscious, but Dad has late-stage cancer. How could he possibly be cured? He then points at Yi Chen. 10 million is not that easy to get. At the very least, I need to see the results. Before he could even finish speaking, Yi Chen grabbed his palm with a backhand grip. In the next second, Long Aotian falls to his knees in sheer pain. Yi Chen speaks slowly, this is what I deserve. Do I make myself clear? Also, although your father will wake up, he only has 3 days to live. Just 3 days. Remember to come find me. Without my medicine, even the gods above could not save him. Without mine, it is over. Generation. Seeing the space. Look at that complexion. The face looks better. Facial color. The lady sees. Going forward. The way the man looks. The man looks at his haggard appearance. He could not help but feel guilty in his heart. During this period of time, however, right now, asking Long Aotian, is the work settled, manager? When is it settled? The response should be, Aotian responds with a guilty conscience. I did it all for the sake of this family. This family can't hold it back. Directly, saying, don't think I do not know what you have done, you scoundrel. What exactly were you doing while I was sick? What were you up to while I was ill? From the needles to the power. Don't expect a single penny. You snobbish piece of trash. If you do not find that divine doctor, get the hell out of the Shen family. At the same time, in the meeting room of the Huamei group, the atmosphere is exceptionally heavy because the company's stock has plummeted. They have reached a critical point of life and death, almost at the brink of survival. Sun Yi's face is also filled with worry at this moment, but suddenly she feels an itch in her chest. She reaches in and pulls out a slip of paper. To her surprise, it is the prescription Yi Chen gave her. When did that guy slip this in? Sun Yi is looking at the note with a blushing face. Suddenly, a hand reaches out from the side and snatches the paper away. Turning around to look, she sees a woman in a red dress speaking. Let me see what kind of treasure this is. What treasure? In the lingerie. Then looks at the note in her hand. What on earth is this junior prescription? Let me throw this piece of trash away for you. After saying that, she tore it into pieces right in front of her. Sun Yi looked at Suna with sudden fury. Don't push me too far. Even if it is just a scrap of paper, it is still mine. She shoved her aside in one go. Suna was clearly not one to take things lying down. She lunged forward to grab Sun Yi, calling her a little bitch. She rushed up and grabbed Sun Yi, that little brat. You dare push me, all for a worthless scrap of paper. Just as the conflict between the two intensified and reached a breaking point, a figure appeared in the conference room. Stop this at once. That single formula is worth billions, and you just tore it to shreds, torn apart. Just now, the door opened as someone entered. Sha Ruoshui walked into the conference room. Sha Ruoshui stepped into the room with an icy aura. Sha Ruoshui walked straight into the meeting hall. She spoke with a sharp tone. She said coldly, "You two certainly have a lot of nerve. You still have time to fool around here." Both of them broke into a cold sweat instantly. A moment later, the room returned to its usual heavy silence. Sha Ruoshui scanned the room. Sha Ruoshui spoke up. She said slowly, "I am sure you all know very well. Single quote, what today's meeting is about. Our competitors have developed an advanced oral liquid. Why is it that after all these years, our product, single quote, is still stagnant, gradually, immediately, heading towards, slapping the table, she said, for 3 whole years, living off old capital until we are finished chasing after the Shah family. Our current formula is outdated. R&D has not made any breakthroughs. Moreover, our annual revenue is plummeting. But since ancient times, good beauty formulas are rare. Sha Ruozu's face darkened. I have spent 5 years of my life's blood on this. 5 years of hard work wasted. Thinking of the 5 years of effort she poured into this. If the company fails, she will be forced into that marriage alliance, just to get her parents to call off that arranged marriage. Is it really going to end like this? Is this where it stops? Is it truly over? When everyone chose to remain silent. From a distance, Na looked over. Just a formula. I saw Director Sun holding a copy in her hand. What is it? That is an ancient, lost formula. The middle-aged man cried out in shock. Then he saw Sha Ruozu's excitement. President Shah was incredibly thrilled. If this formula is real, if it is the real deal, the company, Ruoshui also. Ruoshui quickly questioned Sun Yi. Ruoshui rushed to ask Sun Yi about it. Ruoshui said, "Do you really have the formula?" But Sun Yi, her gaze flickered with hesitation, explaining that it was just something someone scribbled randomly. She pointed shamefully at the fragments on the table. Everyone's eyes followed her finger. They saw that the priceless formula was actually written on a cheap napkin. Their faces were filled with, just as Suna thought her scheme had succeeded. The middle-aged man from R&D picked up the scraps. His face could not hide his utter astonishment. This formula should be the real deal. Our earliest formula was developed based on this very foundation. Unfortunately, the formula back then was incomplete. As long as we can restore this piece of paper, we can definitely achieve a breakthrough in production. Suddenly, he slammed the table. He shouted, "This formula determines the life and death of the group. And yet you ruined it, Suna. As of now, you are no longer the director. Get out of the conference room immediately. If this medical formula cannot be restored, you can pack your bags and get lost for good." Sha Ruoshui also showed a hint of joy. With a wave of her hand, she quickly ordered the staff to collect the fragments. No matter what, this formula must be restored. In the evening, Sun Yi returned to the apartment after work. She found the large house completely empty. Feeling lonely, she sat on the sofa and muttered to herself. She sat there in a daze, lost in thought. He has not come back yet. Or maybe he is never coming back. With his overwhelming strength, he wrote down a secret formula so casually. Could it be that he is some kind of peerless master? Now that I have seen through his identity, he might just disappear from my side. Just as her mind was wandering, a large hand reached out and touched her head. Holding her head gently, she got goosebumps. She turned around and saw it was Yi Chen. She started talking about what happened at the company, but Yi Sen remained very calm. He said indifferently, "That formula is just a basic introductory script from my sect. If it is not enough, I can write a few more for you." After saying that, he prepared to go to his room to sleep. She pulled him back. With a shy look on her face, she spoke up. "Do you want to see President Shah?" After finishing her sentence, "She wants to see you." She said she really wants to see you. Yi Chen, however, had a look of disdain after hearing this. He said arrogantly, "In that case, I am not going. Yesterday, she gave me the cold shoulder. Today, I am someone she can't even dream of reaching. Tell your President Shah to come find me herself. Whether I see her or not depends entirely on my mood." He then walked straight into his room. At the same time, on the other side, Sha Ruoshui was in her pajamas, talking on the phone with Sun Yi. Sun Yi told her about Yi Chen's attitude. She responded in a lazy tone that it was fine. "I will consider it." After hanging up, she could not help but think. Before, he would even make a scene at the front desk just to see me. Now he is putting on such an act, showing this kind of attitude now. This. So stubborn. What a stubborn man he is. A little girl, with a small frame, unexpectedly having large feet. Can you believe it? At the Renda pharmacy, Yi Chen thought to himself, this should be the largest pharmacy nearby. But accordingly, there are many people in line. Out of boredom, Yi Chen saw a painting of a cat hanging on the wall. He looked at the portrait on the wall. Upon closer inspection, he noticed something unusual. He could not help but comment that this painting actually had some merit. While he was observing the details, checking the strokes and the age of the work, it seemed to be a piece from many years ago. Just then, a mocking voice came from behind him. It was Yi Jian, Yi Hua, dressed in. Standing there, with a look of utter disdain, she pointed at Yi Chen, mocking him. Grandpa, this kid says your painting is a fake, but this is the treasure you worked so hard to find. Your precious, hard-earned treasure. The girl barked out. Just a toy. One could achieve greatness. Yi Chen said calmly, this only proves one thing. Those so-called appraisers are just useless freeloaders. They are all style and no substance. Though I must admit, this imitation is not half bad. It is good enough to fool an amateur. He ignored them both and turned to leave. But seeing Yi Chen's arrogance and his wild claims, she could not hold back anymore. Her explosive temper flared instantly. Without waiting for permission or the old man to stop her, she lunged forward, leaping into the air. She aimed a powerful kick at him. Her right leg whipped toward Yi Chen's head like a spear. Seeing this, the old man thought to himself anxiously, she has been training hard in martial arts lately. I hope she does not accidentally kick this young man to death. But Yi Chen simply caught her leg with one hand. With a calm face he said, are you serious? Is this it? Careful now. One kick from her could usually shatter a punching bag. This is impossible. Before she could even react, he still held her ankle firmly. I am not going to play nice, little girl. I am telling you. Listen up. The girl paused, stunned. Her face turned pale. She screamed directly at him. She howled at Yi Chen, how dare you throw me? Don't think you are walking out of here in one piece. She tried to charge forward again for more, but the old man stopped her. Hold on. The old man intervened. You. Stop right there. This young brother did not even use his true chi just now. That leg. That skill. He showed you mercy. After saying that, the atmosphere changed. The girl was still fuming. Pure rage. She was shaking with anger. I was just careless. I did not dodge. As soon as she spoke, a wave of murderous intent filled the air. Chilling to the bone. Why do not you try and teach me a lesson, then? The girl's legs went weak from pure terror. She collapsed, crying out in fear, Grandpa, run. This guy is a monster. The old man spoke up. At that moment, his tone became incredibly respectful, utterly humble, deeply sincere. He spoke with gravity. Please forgive us, young brother. My granddaughter was blind to your greatness. She failed to recognize a master like you. Please have mercy. She truly did not know who she was dealing with. He bowed low. His attitude shifted completely to one of submission. A moment later, the old man brought up the painting on the wall again. He pointed back to the artwork. The old man asked about the painting once more. Young brother, please enlighten me. Still, I was truly mistaken. How did I miss those clues? AI cell, flower 51. He spoke slowly, since you have asked so sincerely. Then I shall show some mercy and tell you. He began circulating his true chi into the painting. The hidden inscription revealed itself. Is this painting real or fake? It is hard to distinguish. He continued to explain whether this piece was authentic or a forgery. He went on explaining the truth behind this painting. Continuing his explanation, he sat back down. He thoroughly analyzed the authenticity of the artwork. That is why the forger dared to leave such a bold inscription. Only by using true chi could the image be manifested. After the matter was settled, the young lady was carrying the medicinal herbs. She spoke timidly, Mr. Yi. Trembling slightly, she said, Mr. Yi. These are the herbs you requested. Yi Chen took the herbs. He teased, I have troubled the eldest miss to personally gather medicine for me. I still prefer your usual arrogant attitude. Looking for Zhang Zhengji. Once you recover. The girl could only listen in silence. Thinking to herself, she wanted to leave with the medicine quickly. Yi Sen continued speaking. Listen closely to this advice. It is for your own good. You can't handle this. Your current cultivation technique does not suit you. If you keep practicing it, you will likely end up ruined. Hearing this, the girl barked back, refusing to let it go. She was relentless and refused to be reasonable. Since my father is here, you are in for it. The father stepped in to smooth things over. Zayuan. Trying to mediate, he called out to Ziying. This young brother's prowess is not to be underestimated. This young man is truly a cut above the rest. His power is formidable. Then he turned to Yi Chen and continued. I have spoiled my granddaughter too much. She has been spoiled by me. Please do not take offense. He gestured to give the herbs to Yi Chen for free. Yi Chen took out his card. Just charge me according to the market price. He said, directly charging the market price is fine. He said, the market price you are selling at is fine. He said, just go by the market price. I do not want to take this small favor and have someone look at me like I am a freeloader. After settling the bill, he waved and turned to leave. He has the power to bring life back to the dead. His reach spans across the entire province. A master, hidden in the city. A dragon amongst men, hidden in the mundane. A legend in the making. He is the one. In his heart, he knew, this city is about to face an unprecedented storm. Inside the man's body, hundreds of tombstones are sealed. Ancient masters are trapped within. Ancient deities of great power. The souls of ancient experts are sealed here. A powerhouse who can shake the world with a single thought. A supreme being who commands the elements. A force that can ignite the heavens. A master who can stir the world with his breath. But today, $1 million bounty was placed on his head. Bounty. Medicine shop. He. Not worthy. He does not deserve it. Isn't he just helping you? Grandpa, you should not praise him so much. He spoke slowly. I have misspoken. After listening, the old man spoke slowly. Indeed, it is out of character. Also. 10. Also. Are you afraid of him, terrified of him, afraid that he will soar to the heavens? A monstrous talent. Such karma. It is chilling. He is so young. How could he possibly be a grandmaster? At such a young age, his skills are peerless. A flicker of gravity appeared between the elder's brows. Continue speaking. The heart. Victory. The intent. The 15 paths of Zhongnan. The exclusive middle 5 paths. The martial Tao. Extending to the origin power. Ordinary people. Ordinary people, to him. In their eyes, ordinary people are nothing more than mere ants. This young man is like a dragon descending upon the world. The hidden strength of the family. Yi Chen. He noticed it. He sensed the surveillance. A cold smile formed. He walked alone into a dark alley. The heart of the man tracking him tightened. Inside the man's mind, could I have been discovered? But thinking of the master's generous reward, he did not think twice and decided to follow anyway. Catch up first and see. He ran into the alley, only to find it empty. Just as he frantically thought he would lost him, Yi Chen suddenly appeared above his head. Using a move like a god descending from the heavens, he struck down at the man with immense force. In an instant the man was pinned down, unable to move. Absolute dominance. The power was overwhelming, effortless. After subduing the man, Yi Chen said coldly, don't play tricks. Yi Chen held him down, don't even try. Yi Chen had him under control. Yi Chen restrained the captive and said coldly, don't resist. Give me one reason not to kill you. Threatened by death, the man barely kept his composure. He started blabbering a whole lot of nonsense. He even revealed which hand he uses to wipe himself in the bathroom. Yi Chen shouted directly, cut the crap. I am asking who sent you. The man was instantly scared witless. He hurriedly explained, Shen Haihua put out a bounty. $1 million reward just to find you. The man got more excited as he spoke. With a sycophantic look he said, great hero, why do not you come back with me right now? We can split the reward 50-50. Actually, I will take 30 and you take 70. Is that okay? Yi Chen cut him off. What a cunning little rat. Stop annoying me, Yi Chen muttered. Tell Shen Haihua to stop wasting his effort. Then he turned and walked away. Inside the apartment, Sun Yi was dressed beautifully. She was busy applying her lipstick. He could not help but tease, dressed up so pretty. Are you going on a date? Sun Yi stopped what she was doing. She explained, I am taking you shopping. We will buy clothes and get you a phone. Otherwise, I can never reach you when it matters. Before Yi Chen could refuse, Sun Yi quickly grabbed his arm and said, it is settled. It is on me today. Yi Chen changed his clothes and stepped out of the fitting room. Sun Yi looked at Yi Chen in front of her. She could not help but praise, truly, clothes make the man. Indeed, clothes make the man. You actually look quite handsome when you are dressed up. Come here and tell me the truth. Do you have a girlfriend? Don't make me introduce you to someone. A wealthy lady, perhaps. Are you feeling shy now? Have you ever been in love? Boy. Could it be that you are still an innocent young boy? Yi Chen's face darkened at this moment. He had survived 5 years of hellish training and constant danger, having spent 5 years in that brutal environment, struggling for survival for 5 long years. How could I have time for romance? He then recalled the time when the Yi family still existed. He once liked a girl. It was a joke that countless people whispered about. His feelings were pure back then. He had been utterly infatuated with her. His heart was full of sincere affection at that time. Unexpectedly, she had responded to him. She asked me to stand before the whole school gala and confess my love to her in front of everyone. Then she promised to be with me. At that time, I naively thought love had finally arrived. I was so naive. I was truly innocent back then. In the end, however, she was a wolf in sheep's clothing. I rose up, depressed and broken. A piece of trash, nothing but useless trash. A pathetic loser. Everyone saw it. The price was paid. Seeing Yi Chen's back. Because of what just happened. Hurriedly. No love, never been in love. Your sister here is single too. Aren't I living quite well? Am I not doing just fine regardless? My name is Xu Ajin. I am what people call a high-quality male. After 3 years of searching, I finally found a girlfriend. But today, someone actually slapped me in the face. Big deal. A man of quality, an existence not to be trifled with. Just now, Wang Di saw the school beauty's cold shoulder. The distance between the elite and the commoners. The gap was clearly visible. The man beside her looked greasy and bizarre. He Qian also quickly recognized Sun Yi. He Qian was also. A look of disdain appeared on her face. Is this not, after all these years? Since school, you have been with your current boyfriend. Your current boyfriend is still dressed in cheap street stalls. She then looked closely at Yi Chen again, and continued speaking. This guy looks a bit like that dead loser from the Yi family. Ignoring the both of them. Not bothering. He is just like that useless trash from back then. Introducing this lowlife as your new friend. Yi Chen saw He Qian's incredibly hideous face. Without hesitation, he delivered a sharp slap. The slap echoed loudly across the area. A direct strike to shut her up. The world suddenly became much quieter. He Qian was seen crawling back up, only to see, clutching her face and screaming, "Don't you know who I am? Do you have any idea what my boyfriend's status is? Do you even know who you are messing with, my man? He is someone you can never hope to reach." The man beside her assumed an arrogant posture. With a haughty look, he said, "I am the chief financial officer of Baiming Group. I happen to be the CFO of Baiming Group. Do you hear me, CFO of Baiming Group? My annual salary is 5 million. A high-quality man like me is a rare breed. I am someone you can't afford to mess with, unlike a loser like you. I am an existence beyond your reach. You are just a broke nobody. I am way out of your league." Meanwhile, Shen Haihua had finally tracked down Yi Chen. The moment he entered, he witnessed this dramatic scene. He shot a piercing look at the greasy-haired man. He spoke coldly, "Dare use the group's name to pressure Mr. Yi." The greasy man's heart skipped a beat, trembling in fear. He thought, wasn't the chairman terminally ill? Why is he appearing here? Putting on a fawning act, he tried to play it off. He immediately changed his tune to a sycophantic one. Adopting a humble posture, he stammered out a greeting. He put on a forced, pleasing smile while talking. In a desperate attempt to please, he spoke submissively. He tried his best to act natural, despite his internal agony. "Uncle Shen, what brings a man of your stature to a place like this? Are you here to inspect the new project?" But Shen Haihua ignored him completely. He walked straight toward Yi Chen. In the next second, he grabbed Yi Chen's hand firmly and said, "Mr. Yi, I have been looking everywhere for you." Indeed. A pleasant surprise. Shen Haihua nodded repeatedly after hearing him. Then he glared at Long Aoshan. "Get over here and apologize to Mr. Yi right now." Long Aoshan was also stunned. He rushed over until he was right in front of Yi Chen. He stood directly before Yi Chen. With a tone of absolute sincerity, he said, "I was wrong that day. I beg of you, please forgive me. I am begging you." That greasy. To anyone, he was arrogant. The same Long Aoshan who bowed to no one, was actually kneeling before a young man. Everyone else was frozen in shock. But Yi Sen just watched with a cold, indifferent gaze, ignoring Shen Haihua and his son entirely. He took Sun Yi's hand and walked out. Shen Haihua saw how guarded and cold he was. Seeing Yi Chen's attitude, Shen Haihua knew he was still furious. He barked at Long Aoshan, "If you do not get Mr. Yi's forgiveness today, you will stay on your knees here for the rest of your life." The greasy man, having found his words, tried to intervene. He stepped forward and said, "Uncle Shen, I think this whole thing is just a misunderstanding." Before he could even finish his sentence, Shen Haihua slapped him across the face. He shouted angrily, "A misunderstanding? How dare you use the group's name to insult Mr. Yi, using the company's reputation for your own petty ends. You have brought this upon yourself. As of today, you and your ego are kicked out of the group." After saying that, he immediately chased after Yi Chen. The greasy man slumped to the floor, face full of despair. He kept repeating to himself, "It is over. It is all over. I have nothing left now." Back and forth, the rightful heir. A presence that stands above all. Dragged out to go shopping. Now, he was being dragged along by his beautiful landlord. Sun Yi was carrying bags of newly bought clothes. With a joyful face, she said, "I can't believe you can't even afford rent. Yet you still spent money to buy clothes for me. Since your heart is in the right place, I will waive your rent for next month." Yi Chen thought to himself, she really is a good woman. She refused to let him buy anything expensive. She only picked out a few items from the clearance rack. Little does she know, I could buy the whole mall right now. In an instant. Just then, a voice called out, Shen Haihua was seen standing by the road. It was obvious he had been waiting there for quite some time. Shen Haihua, with a smile, "Are you two enjoying your shopping?" Her face lit up with a hint of joy. Everything seemed perfectly pleasant. "If you need anything, just come to me." Shen Haihua quickly explained, "You have misunderstood. The one I am looking for is the lady beside you. An employee of our group was extremely rude earlier. It was a failure in my management. I have come specifically to apologize. Please accept these small tokens of my regret. Please, you must take these gifts." Sun Yi noticed something. Sun Yi's attention was drawn to the fact that these gifts were exactly what she wanted. Satisfied, the value of these items was staggering. They were incredibly precious and rare. Truly top-tier luxury items. Shen Hei's smooth move worked perfectly. Knowing he could not easily please Yi Chen directly, he chose to win over the person Yi Chen cared about. A clever strategy to gain favor from the side. It was quite an impressive display of tact. Yi Chen then spoke to Shen Haihua. "I will give you one last chance. I will visit the Shen family to find you tomorrow morning. I will be there. But you must remember this. Just as I can save your life, I can also take it back." Shen Haihua trembled and bowed. "Thank you, Mr. Yi. If you need anything, my people are at your disposal." Meanwhile, inside a certain luxury villa, Chu Shiren and He Qian were talking excitedly. They were deep in discussion. "What I am saying is the truth. It is definitely Yi Chen. Even though his vibe has totally changed, even though his presence is different, he looks exactly the same, and he even has the same name." The woman standing before her was the one from their student days. She was their former classmate, using dating as a mere excuse back then. Shiren was the mastermind. Shiren. The culprit was Chu Shiren. Chu Shiren, the one behind it all. She heard that Shen Haihua had been looking for this man. He is very experienced. This person is extremely sophisticated, and he cares deeply about his reputation. To make someone like him bow down to a young man, his status and power are usually unmatched. He is a man of high standing and great influence. His position is firmly established. He Qian looked terrified. If that is the case, won't I be dead meat?" Chu Shiren, however, was dismissive. That piece of trash from back then, even if he is alive, he would just be a street rat hiding in the shadows. How could he possibly make Shen Haihua submit? But Shiren, what if he really is that Yi Chen? Chu Shiren sneered. 5 years ago, his Yi family was nothing but ants before my Chu family. 5 years later, I am a prominent figure, while he is still a nobody. He is just a speck of dust compared to me now. Inside the apartment, Sun Yi was sighing with emotion. "Clothes I usually could not bear to buy for myself. Now I have a whole pile of them." She asked Yi Chen, "When did you meet President Shen? When did you even get to know someone like President Shen? And how are you guys so close? It felt like a dream, all these beautiful clothes." She just could not believe her luck today. "By the way, Yi Chen, are you really not going to see Sha Ruoshui? She is the eldest daughter of the Sha family. She is a legendary beauty. How can you resist?" Yi Chen, however, looked completely bored. "Why bring up such a buzzkill out of nowhere? Go have fun by yourself. I am trying to watch TV here." Suddenly, a news report catches my eye. Both of them pay attention. This morning, at a luxury villa in the city, 2 male bodies were discovered. They have been identified as Chen Ji, chairman of the Zhongcheng Chamber of Commerce, and his associate, Chen Feng. Sun Yi's heart races. These two are dead. My God, I have been worried sick about the Chen family's revenge these past few days. Yi Chen, sitting beside her, says indifferently, looking completely unfazed. "They got what they deserve. It is only natural. Actually, I was the one who did it. I am a top-tier assassin, you know. I can scale walls and fly over rooftops. Did you think I was incapable of such things?" Sun Yi quickly interrupts him. "Stop talking nonsense. What if someone hears you and gets you arrested?" She thinks to herself, this guy is good at fighting. Single quote, but there is no way he would actually kill someone. She gives him a playful look of annoyance. "I am ignoring you. I am going to go try on some clothes." No peeking. Yi Chen wears a look of helpless resignation. Truth be told, if you were in a secluded place and faced with a woman like that, what would you do? Trying to understand her is a challenge. In those quiet moments, she is quite a handful. What would your move be? Yi Chen clearly recognizes the woman in front of him. It is that female officer who blocked him last time. He thinks, this woman is nothing but trouble. Best to stay as far away from her as possible. Yi Chen tries to sidestep her. "Excuse me, officer. I am quite busy right now." She insists on questioning him about the Chen family matter. The Yi family should have been wiped out. "Yi Chen, I never expected a powerhouse like you to be the same Yi family stray from years ago." Before she can even finish her sentence, he pins her against the wall by her neck. His grip tightens, filling her with terror. What? Unbelievable. She realizes then, standing before him, in his presence, resistance is futile. She had once been so confident, so self-assured. For years, she had stood tall. Now, she can barely breathe. I just wanted to. I only wanted to. I just wanted to talk. Yi Chen does not want to waste time. He releases his grip and lets her go. I have things to do. Leave me alone. The woman watches his departing figure, judging by his age. At his age, during the prime years of cultivation, even if he spent his best years training like a madman, training desperately for 5 years, risking his life to cultivate for 5 years. 5 years of absolute dedication. Even if he spent those 5 years training at the risk of his life, it is impossible for him to be this strong. In just 5 years. Just what on earth did he go through? Yi Chen soon returns to the apartment. He looks at the medicinal herbs prepared on the table. I can use the microwave to refine these pills. Good thing she is asleep. Afterwards, when Yi Chen opens it, thick smoke billows out. Yi Chen opens the microwave and the smoke rolls out. He mutters to himself, this thing is really, if I knew, I would have used the old man's refinement method. I will have to ask Uncle Dao about it, tomorrow. Then he carefully reaches into the thick smoke. He managed to refine them. Pills. Finally done. East. Everything is going according to plan. Early next morning, Sun Yi walked out of her room looking relaxed. She saw Yi Chen preparing to head out. Yi Chen, where are you going so early? Yi Chen replied calmly, to see a patient and save a life. To see a patient and save a life. Give me a call later. Looking at your current appearance, Sun Yi thought to herself with his look. He does not look like a doctor at all. How could it be? But then again, he has those youth-retaining pills. Maybe he really does know a thing or two about medicine. Counting the days, the anniversary of the Yi family's death is almost here. I suppose after all these years, only I still visit the grave. Only I am left to honor their memory at the ancestral site. How could the great Yi family be wiped out so suddenly? Sigh. Shen Mengya was waiting anxiously, but at the entrance, a few guys were loitering around. At noon, a skinny fat duo was idling by the gate. Bro, that lady is definitely waiting for a man. The confident guy beside him said, she is obviously waiting for her bestie. Confidence 101, she is definitely waiting for a girlfriend. Would a rich young lady really wait for a man? For a wealthy socialite like her? If she were a kept woman, she would most likely be driving a Porsche. Those who drive BMWs are definitely the dominant type. They would not lower themselves for a man. I bet your analysis is dead wrong. Suddenly, the chubby guy interrupted. So flashy. I only know he will be here. Showing disapproval. Striking a pose. Striking a pose. You do not know. People call me the Prince of Charm. The chubby guy would not back down either. My track record with beautiful girls is legendary. I have mastered the art of winning hearts. A true expert in the field of romance. Looking for a chance. Searching for the right score. The god of love. And who exactly are you? Yi Chen said indifferently, I really do not understand, but at least I know that girl is. The two of them immediately started mocking him. A beauty in a luxury car, waiting for you. Don't make me laugh. As soon as the words left their mouths, Shen Mengya spotted Yi Chen. She hurriedly called out, Mr. Yi, and ran towards him. The two were completely stunned. Their jaws dropped as she grabbed Yi Chen's arm. The experts were frozen in shock. You are finally here. I have been waiting for so long. What is with this, Mr. Yi? Are these two Mr. Yi's friends? Yi Chum intentionally raised his voice. Lately there have been many creeps around here. A lot of weird people lurking around. Many suspicious characters showing up lately. The fat one and the thin one. Tiny. Half an hour later, Yi Chen arrived at the Shen family villa. Shen Haihua looked at the dark, silent pill before him. He asked doubtfully, Mr. Yi, will I really be cured just by taking this pill? No need for acupuncture or anything like that. Acupuncture. Move. Them. Yi Chen said calmly, just take it directly. Destroyed. The Lord said coldly, follow the instructions and take it now. After hearing this, Shen Heiwa's doubts were completely dispelled. He picked up the pill and swallowed it immediately. In an instant, Shen Haihua felt a surge of powerful vitality enveloping him. Shen Haihua could clearly feel it. The pill he swallowed released a wave of energy. A warm current wrapped around his skin and flowed through his entire body. It was an unprecedented sense of comfort. His internal organs and veins were vibrating with vigor. Pure bliss. He could feel his physical state being restored. His spirit felt as if it had been reborn. Shen Mengya, standing nearby, saw her father so excited. She almost wondered if he had taken some miracle drug. A moment later, Shen Haihua tightly gripped Yi Chen's hand. Mr. Yi, I will never forget that you saved my life. He was deeply moved. This is the 100 million check I promised. Please accept it. Yi Sen took it calmly, showing no emotion. The great master accepted it without being overly polite. He took it as if it were only natural. It was just a transaction. There is no need to thank me. At this time, an assistant standing next to Shen Haihua was holding a tray. I have a property at the Grand Metropole Apartments. It has been vacant for a while. It would be a waste to leave it empty. Here is the key. Please accept the small token, Mr. Yi. I also hope you will do me the honor of joining me for a simple meal. Yi Shen picked up the key, thinking that a house might indeed be useful. Quite useful. It would be convenient for storing medicinal herbs later. As for the meal, since Shen Haihua is a prominent figure in the business world, he must have access to a lot of commercial intelligence regarding the truth behind the tragedy of my family, the Yi family's demise. What happened back then? I have tried to investigate, but I could not reach any reliable information. I will stay in the city for now. Everything is coming together. The pieces of the puzzle. It is becoming clear. I will tell you the time and place. Will that be convenient for you? Shen Haihua said with excitement. Of course I am free. To be invited by you, Mr. Yi, is my greatest honor. I will definitely be there. He is the successor of the samsara. Inside, great powers are sealed away. But alas, it is not enough. Being kicked out by the graveyard guardian is tough. Too much. I need to find more potent medicinal ingredients to strengthen my cultivation. Inside Ren Yuan Clinic, what caught his eye were various precious medicinal herbs. At this moment, they were piled up like a small mountain. Then, Zhu Ren appeared from the back. You have arrived. You are just in time. They were just delivered. All the materials have just arrived. They are very fresh. Yi Chen grabbed the herbs and examined them closely. After inspecting the herbs, he could not help but nod slightly. Let us settle the bill. Zhu Ren hesitated for a moment and said, Mr. Yi, although I really want to give these to you for free, I suspect you definitely would not agree to that. Agreed. Let us set the price at 5 million. That is below the market rate. It barely covers the cost. Some people might ask for more. These requirements, these prices are non-negotiable. These are necessary. This should be enough to settle his debt. Understood. Consider it a personal favor to him. I would hate to owe anyone a random favor. Then I shall accept your kindness. A man of great ambition does not sweat the small stuff. I have not seen you this generous in a long time. Truly, a display of great power and vision. He left early this morning with his master. He won't be back until late. Looking for a welcoming sign. I welcome you, Yi Chen, to our humble establishment. Our sect welcomes your presence here today. Jiangnan is honored by your visit, sir. Yi Chen was currently writing something down. Then he handed it over to him. Keep this paper until you return. If you see his master, give it to him. It is vital. The master's expression changed. I must do this. At the same time, his gaze shifted to the paper. Even he could not understand what was written. He realized something. By the way, there is something I need to ask. Where can I buy one? Do you know where I can purchase an alchemy furnace? Master Zhu was shocked to hear his request. In the legends, within the capital, exclusively for the elite of China. Rumor has it, rumors say the Shaw family has one, though they are on the market. But only a few are truly precious. In reality, alchemists certainly still exist in this world, but their numbers are incredibly rare. If a family possessed an alchemist, if a martial arts family had such a resource, they would become a top-tier power within 3 years. In less than 3 years, they would reach the peak. He bought so many medicinal herbs. Could these herbs be for refining pills? If so, the value would be immeasurable. Even, beautiful, refined, laughable. That is all. I just have a preference for collecting furnaces. Zhu Ren composed himself and did not pry further. Mr. Yi, if you are interested, in 5 days, you can join us at the auction. There should be one for sale there. Will there be an auction? Is there really an auction happening? If they have an alchemy furnace, there might be other good treasures as well. Good. Contact me when the time comes. I will take my leave now. Just deliver the herbs to the grand apartments. A few hours later, Zixuan ran happily into the pharmacy to see her grandfather. Zhu Zixuan quickly ran into the room. JX, the man behind her, was very capable. His abilities are impressive. The man following her was also quite skilled. Capability is key. Look at Sun Yi, granddaughter, look, are you causing trouble today? I did not cause any trouble for your master today. Zhu Zixuan said coquettishly. What? Grandpa, you were just talking nonsense. Do I really look like that kind of person? Zhu Ren was instantly fuming after hearing that. He was so angry. He did not know where to vent it. Last time you offended Yi Chen, I offended Yi Chen, left a way for you to apologize to him today. I told you to stay and apologize to him today. But look at you. You actually ran off early this morning, running away first thing in the morning. Zhu Ren could not be bothered to argue further. He pulled out the piece of paper from Yi Chen. This is what Yi Chen personally taught you. It is for your own good, understand. A new insight into the technique, specifically for those who have eyes but cannot see. Understand. Embarrassing. So embarrassing. I am still practicing the first level. I am only at the second stage of Qi. He casually tossed it aside. It just so happened to be picked up by the man behind him. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary piece of paper, but once he saw what was written on it, his eyes instantly widened in shock. In the next second, his eyes bulged at the paper. The next second, his eyes widened at this very paper. A master. This is definitely from a master. This must have been written by a supreme master. Old Zhu, hurry. Zhu, quick. Let me meet this master. Quick, let me meet this supreme master. He has shown great benevolence to both me and Zixuan. Zhu Ren was being shaken until he was dizzy. He hurriedly asked, what exactly was written on it? What exactly is written on here? He explained, you see. The cultivation technique is called the 7 formations. I obtained it by chance when I was young, but it was an incomplete technique. Back then it did indeed boost my power. When I first started practicing, my strength underwent a qualitative leap, but the more I practiced, the more problems I found. It even affected my internal organs. Slightly. Converging. A hidden skill, if I could just master one skill. No. If I continued practicing like that, I would likely die of organ failure, unless I crippled my own cultivation. Crippling it. Also, powerless. Thinking about it. The whole. Without him, the Zhu family would surely suffer. The man regained his composure. It was replaced by a face full of excitement. Of course, that was before. Now, this paper has actually completed the technique. It is simply a divine stroke of genius. From now on, never again. Zixuan, we have met a savior. Haha, Zhu Zixuan you. Haha, ha ha ha. Even the master. Speaking of which, that Yi Chen. Who on earth are you really? Without a penny to his name. Supposedly penniless. Yet he lives in a villa worth hundreds of millions. Still. People, to think it was such a massive villa. It is such a grand estate. Let us move. Went to take a look, then I went inside to have a look. Everything is prepared. Sir. The facilities inside are fully equipped. He could not help but nod in approval. The furniture is all brand new as well. That guy was actually quite thoughtful. Only, T1. Living in such a large villa alone makes it feel a bit empty. If only Sun Yi were here. But she told me she was heading back to her hometown for a few days. She said she had to go back. I am a little worried about her. Years ago, although our house was smaller than this, our whole family lived there in perfect harmony. Now, I am the only one left. Tomorrow is the anniversary of my parents' death. Mom, Dad, I will definitely avenge your deaths. I will make sure your blood debt is paid in full. I crawled my way back from the gates of death. I bloomed in the darkest of nights, just so I could personally take that man's head and offer it at your grave as a sacrifice. I, Yi Chen, will one day restore the dignity of the Yi family. I will make this world bow before me. Submit to my power. This entire land shall kneel at my feet. The ringing phone pulled Yi Chen back to reality. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. At the villa, the workers were working efficiently. Yi Chen could not help but sigh at the sight. Yi Chen sighed, thinking it was a good thing he had this building. Otherwise, there would be no place to store all this. Suddenly, a voice spoke from beside him. Mr. Yi, I have delivered the medicine. If there is anything else you need. Yi Chen's attention was currently. Yi Chen's gaze shifted. Yi Chen focused his attention on the man next to Zhu Ren. He focused on the person standing there. The man standing nearby. A man of great spirit. He possessed a powerful aura. Greetings, Mr. Yi. It is an honor to meet you, Mr. Yi. The man Qin Yuanming bowed deeply and said, Greetings, Mr. Yi. He showed great respect. Indeed. To treat this, the area below, there is a way. I am grateful to you. Please come inside. Then he looked at the man and asked. And who might this be? The man looked at Yi Chen. He immediately knelt on the ground and said, This humble one is Qin. I owe you my life, Grandmaster Yi. To be honest, I am actually Zizan's master. The mental cultivation technique would inevitably lead to a cultivation backlash. From this day forward, I, Qin Yuanming, will follow you. From now on, I, Qin Yuanming, am yours to command. My life belongs to you from this day forth. He said indifferently, it was nothing. Yi Chen spoke calmly. However, I have a question. Why do you call me that? As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was stunned. The man was also shocked. As a martial arts grandmaster, how could he not know what grandmaster means? The ranks that define the martial world. Yi Chen saw everyone's reaction. He could not help but scratch his head awkwardly. It is because I have not been down from the mountain for long. I am not very clear on the classifications of martial arts yet. Please enlighten me. After hearing this, the man suddenly understood. So that is how it is. Then I shall take the liberty to explain to you, Grandmaster Yi. Regarding the realm of a grandmaster, it is not just that he is powerful. He is truly a rare breed. In China's martial arts system, it is divided into the external realm, the internal, and the transformed realm. Each level is further subdivided into minor success, great success, and peak stages. Like Zanhong and Dinggang, they are experts at the 8th stage of the internal realm. When they reach the peak of that 8th stage, they lead the pack in the internal realm. A grandmaster reaches the 1st stage of the transformed realm. That level is the ultimate goal for countless martial artists. Yi Chen listened and understood the general idea. But these boundary divisions seem different from what the old man told me. But it makes sense when I think about it. The cultivation technique I practice is on a completely different level from standard martial arts. My techniques are divided into the body refining realm, the origin opening realm, the qi movement realm, the core realm, the soul formation realm, the spirit cultivation realm, and the spirit trekking realm. Each realm has 9 layers. Of course, the spirit trekking realm is not the end. It is just that I can't reach beyond that yet. I am currently at the 5th layer of the origin opening realm. According to Qin Yuanming, a grandmaster should be between the origin opening and the qi movement realm. That is quite a bit stronger than I imagined. He then asked, are there many grandmasters in China? What is certain is, most grandmasters reside within the great families. Zhu Ren added in Zhongcheng. The 4 major families from strongest to weakest are the Chu family, the Zhou, the Zhao, and the Chen family. Even the weakest, the Chens, have an old patriarch who is a grandmaster in seclusion, but the Chen family was wiped out a few days ago, and the Wan family has already replaced them. Yi Sen fell into deep thought after hearing this. Chen Zhengguo used his patriarch's name to threaten me before he died. He really thought his old man could save him. As for the others, especially Shiren, the one I remember most is Chu Shiren of the Chu family. If it were not for her humiliation back then, I would not have hit rock bottom. Chu Shiren, this time I will show you who is the one truly out of reach. A majestic martial artist being looked down upon by a youngster. Imagine a top-tier expert being ignored by a kid. How pathetic. In the bustling market, Yi Chen walked aimlessly. Where on earth did that girl Sun Yi go? I called her several times and she did not pick up. Could something have happened at her home? If I still can't reach her tomorrow, I will have to find another way to track her down. As his stomach growled, he thought anyway I should find a place to eat first. After scanning his surroundings, his gaze stopped at a food stall. I still remember this place. Back in the day, I spent many good times here with the boys. I can't believe it is still here after all these years. It was because we used to eat here so often that I met Wang Yuheng. Even when I was at my lowest, he was the one who stood by me. He walked into the shop. Yi Chum entered, only to find not a soul inside. What is going on? How come? This place used to be packed every single day. Business here used to be incredibly booming back in the day. Now, there is not a single soul in sight. Uncle Wang, give me a few of your signature skewers. Uncle Wang, let me have a few skewers. And a bottle of beverage. At that moment, a woman approached him. I am so sorry, young man. We are closing the stall for today. Please go eat somewhere else. We have to move out in a moment. If you have the chance, please come support our new shop. Doubt began to rise in Yi Chen's heart. This shop has been here for over 10 years. Why move now? He then noticed a medical patch on the woman's face. A medical patch. Show. Wang. A voice rang out. Forget it. Forget it. Don't drive him away. Don't drive the customer away. The woman's face was filled with conflict. But honey. Before the woman could finish her sentence, the man placed a plate of skewers in front of Yi Chen. Young man, this plate is on the house. Since you are our very last customer, I won't charge you a dime, but you must eat quickly. But Yi Chen saw the injuries on the man's face, and his suspicions grew even deeper. Uncle Wang as well. Wang. Uncle Wang and Auntie Zhang have always been so affectionate. Could it be domestic violence? A delicious aroma wafted toward him. The aroma hit him. The scent filled his nostrils. Yi Chen merely gave a casual response. He planned to finish eating before asking, this fragrance, it is such a nostalgic taste. He hurriedly took a bite. That nostalgic flavor. Suddenly, a stone came flying through the air. A stone attack. The stone smashed right into the food. Yi Chen's gaze instantly turned cold. In the blink of an eye, the table was smashed to pieces. With a grim face, Yi Chen looked toward the door. At the once quiet entrance of the shop, several figures were slowly approaching. Not bad, young man. You have got some moves. This little, as of today. This shop is officially finished. Now get the hell out of here. Behind Yi Chen, the couple looked troubled. The red-haired leader looked menacingly at the husband. Give it to us. Old Wang, give it to us. Still serving customers. Do you not want this shop anymore? The man begged. Lord Hu, please. The man gritted his teeth and pleaded. Lord Hu, please let us go. Our small business can't handle this kind of trouble. The red-haired man sneered, thinking of running away. I have known about your new address for a long time. If you do not bring $50,000 in protection money tomorrow, I will go and trash your new shop too. If the money is not here within 24 hours, I will cut off your livelihood. After saying that, he turned around arrogantly. As he passed by Yi Chen, he could not help but mock him. Hey kid. I am done here. Can't you? Before he could finish, a bone-chilling coldness suddenly filled the entire place. I will show you what happens next. The red-haired man froze in his tracks. Are you talking to me? In a split second, Yi Chen was right in front of him. His arm moved like a ruthless shadow. He was not talking to you. Was he talking to a dog then? Z instantly slumped to the floor, ignoring his subordinates' shouts and reactions. Wang was inside the place. The red-haired man who worked for Wang rushed forward. He was knocked down with a single slap. The red-haired man suddenly lunged, shouting, "Go to hell, kid," while pulling a knife. The red-haired man suddenly lunged, shouting, "Die, you brat." But he could not even land a kick before being hit by a punch. He was sent flying and ended up hanging from the ceiling like a chandelier. The remaining henchmen looked at the ceiling in horror. This is way too much, is not it? You lot over there, crawl out of here on your own. If you dare come looking for trouble again, it won't end this lightly. It won't be light. If you were your girlfriend, go home early. Looking around the room. Kneel. Where did that arrogant attitude from earlier go? Those with bruised and swollen faces were all kneeling in a neat row before Yi Chen. Have mercy, great lord. Oh, I. And then, after that, do you have anything else to say? The red-haired man tremblingly raised his swollen face. Ma. This tea street. Now this street is upside down. Modern tea is failing. Modern patrol is down. Now this tea is ruined. You. Get lost. The thugs scrambled to their feet and ran outside. Thank you for your mercy, great lord. Once everyone had fled, Yi Chen noticed the shop was a total mess. Qianhe and Hengzhong were really something. Qianhe and Hengzhong, do not let those newcomers get away. At this moment, a couple walked toward Yi Chen. Could you be? Ah Chen, it really is you. Ah Chen, you are actually still alive. Yi Chen's eyes widened in disbelief. You recognize me. The man patted Yi Chen on the shoulder. You brat, you used to owe so many debts. How could Uncle Wang ever forget you? Ah Chen, you have grown so tall. I almost did not recognize you in those clothes. I am so glad you are back. Yi Chen felt a warmth in his heart. Wang Quan and Zhang Yi, I am here. I am back. After the couple exchanged some warm words with him, it was already late at night at the apartment. Sun Yi, are you home? Yi Chen looked up and saw a figure standing there. Yi Chen looked up and saw a figure standing still. I called you in the living room, but you did not pick up. I just found a great restaurant. Let us go together later. Before he could finish speaking, a woman spoke slowly. You must be Yi Chen, right? Hearing this, Yi Chen looked closely. It was a complete stranger. She was staring at him coldly. Who are you and why are you here? The woman teased. Weren't you trying so hard to see me before? The woman continued to tease him. At our company. Now that you see me, instead, now that you see me, you do not even recognize me. Now that you see me, you realize who I am. Sha Ruoshui. I am Sun Yi's best friend. I used to come over to play with her often. It is no surprise I have her spare key. But what is the deal with you? Living together with her. With a blank face, what are you talking about? So, this is Sha Ruoshui. The old master asked me to save her, but her appearance seems quite normal. She does not look like she is facing a total catastrophe. From what I can see, is Sun Yi here? Can't you guys talk about this at the office? I said at the office. Why here? Talk at the company. I can't reach her. Frowning slightly, I can't get in touch with her. Do you know where she is? The situation is critical. Internal energy is fluctuating. The physical condition is unstable. Your anxiety is showing. Focus your mind. Ruoshui can't reach her either. Something has really happened. Sun Yi is in real trouble. Has she been targeted by my enemies? This is not right. I have to find her. Without another word to Sha Ruoshui, he walked out. The Sha family's matters were not settled before. The Sha family's affairs are still pending. Now that I am here, you are leaving. Yi Chen gave her a cold, indifferent glance. I am in no mood for you right now. Don't follow me. Sha Ruoshui stood there with a dark expression. Yi Chen, you really have some nerve, daring to speak to me like that. You are the first person who has ever dared to say that to me. Isn't it just because you have some lousy medical formula? No, I need to stay calm. Something is very off about Yi Chen. I once sent private investigators to check on him. His entire background is a complete blank. It is as if he appeared out of thin air, and he can casually write down lost ancient formulas. Yi Chen, just what is your background? Xia Ruoshui gradually calmed herself down. I can't let my emotions get the better of me. His formula is very important to me right now. Yi Chen stepped out of the apartment looking lost. He stood outside the building, bewildered. Exiting the apartment, Yi Chen felt a sense of confusion. This city is so vast. I do not have my own intelligence network here. Finding Sun Yi on my own is like looking for a needle in a haystack. I did not want to involve myself with him again. It seems I have no choice but to use him. He is the successor of Samsara, the alchemist revered by countless martial arts experts. Yet now, he is struggling just to find a woman. I really did not want to reconnect with him, but it looks like I must. Meanwhile, on the other side, inside the Qianlong mansion, a sudden, urgent ring of a phone caught the man's attention. The call was unusual. He knew this was no ordinary contact. This encrypted signal was highly rare. Who could it be? The man answered the phone calmly. Upon hearing the voice on the other end, his expression instantly turned grave. Check the security of the area immediately. Clear the sector and ensure safety. Report the situation at once. Confirm the safety of the perimeter. If I find out you have failed, I will destroy everything I have given you, including your life. Find someone for me. Her name is Sun Yi, director at Huamei Group. I need to know her location, and if she is in danger. I am giving you 5 minutes. The man looked at the disconnected phone in his hand. His entire body was trembling. 3 years. I have guarded this phone for 3 whole years, waiting day and night from dawn to dusk. You have finally called me, my lord. News has arrived. Phone ringing. I have tracked down Sun Yi's information. Yesterday at noon, after he left his apartment, he drove straight to Zhongcheng 5th Hospital. According to my investigation, he is trying to raise 700,000 for surgery fees. I have even more detailed info here. More details. I will send it over to you now. Yi Chen hung up the phone with a grim expression. Something did happen, as I suspected. But now that I know where he is, it is manageable. Meanwhile, inside the 5th hospital, Sun Yi stood anxiously outside the operating room. I have gathered everything I even sold my car. But I am still 300,000 short for the surgery. Dad, Mom, there is really no other way. All the family savings have already been spent. We can only borrow. We will have to ask your second uncle for a loan. It is our only option. His business has been booming these past few years. He has made quite a fortune lately. In these years. Forgotten. I should be arriving soon, right? Ever since we relied on second uncle's family, only they can help us now. Second uncle's family is our only hope. Just a bit more time. I will go to second uncle's house. They have always looked down on us. We have to beg him. A voice calls out. Suddenly, a voice echoed from down the hall. 2 people dressed like new money walked up slowly. 2 flashily dressed people approached them. Yang Fu and Haojia. With something this big happening. Why only tell us now? Before even entering, the man spotted Sun Yi at the door. Unbelievable. Just now, I did not realize Sun Yi had grown into such a beauty. I really had not noticed her before. Seeing the 2 of them arrive, Sun Yi's parents felt a glimmer of hope on their faces. A trace of relief appeared. Yang Fu, you know the situation. Brother, you understand. We are truly out of options. Wringing his hands, he pleaded pitifully, but as the man listened, he just folded his arms dismissively. Hearing this, the man stood there with a cold, indifferent look. Despite hearing their plea, he just shrugged them off. How pathetic. Easy to say. Right now, at this moment. Is it beautiful? Is it real? Tears. Surgery, but second uncle, if we do not operate now, Haojia's life will be in danger. The man's expression remained icy upon hearing those words. His face stayed cold and detached. The woman beside him spoke up. Hubby. Single quote. She started to speak. Remember. Do you still remember? This is no joke. The young master from that family, President Li's simple-minded son, needs a wife. Sun Yi is so stunning, it will definitely work. If this match happens, you won't have to worry about President Li promoting you. The man suddenly had an epiphany. How did I not think of this before? Although President Li has a reputation for being a lecher, little Yi is the perfect fit. He turned his predatory gaze towards Sun Yi. Do you have a boyfriend? She has one. Uncle's business has not been going well. Most importantly, he is gone. 100 emerged. Turn right. Suspicious. She has been on blind dates lately, with the son of Mr. Li from Hengsheng Building Materials. If you marry him, Never mind your younger brother. Our entire Sun family's future will be set. Can you believe it? This couple, for the sake of, afraid of paying for their own happiness, afraid of their own colorful mess. Don't be afraid. The rest of the women are just fuel for the fire. Sun Yi, if you marry into the Li family, your brother's illness, the family will have to depend on you from now on. In the future, we will. The entire Sun family will be counting on you. Sun Yi's parents interrupted the woman's sister-in-law. Sun Yi's father directly cut off the sister-in-law. Are you asking me to sell my daughter? Back then, she dropped out of school to work. I can't wrong her again. The woman did not care. Don't make it sound so ugly. She did not care. Don't make it sound so bad. Is it really that hard to hear? Woman. It is all a waste of effort. Let Sun Yi choose for herself. The pressure is on. Let us see what Sun Yi chooses. What if she does not want to marry him? She might actually want to marry him. Maybe she is the one who wants to marry into that family. Think about Haoja. Be careful. Life is still long. How can you bear to watch him suffer? How can you just stand by? You are his own biological sister. You have to provide for him. As his sister, you watched him grow up. His sister must take care of him. A sister should look after him. Looking at the woman with pain in his eyes. I am such a failure. As a father, I have really failed. I am truly a failure of a father. Why did not I risk my life to earn more money? Now my daughter has to suffer. Is this our family's fate? The woman was delighted to see this scene. Seeing this unfold, it seems there is hope. She continued to fan the flames about the marriage. This is a good thing for everyone. Your family will never be short of money again. You should know, the subsequent treatment costs will be a fortune. The world is all about money. A lifetime of debt. Buying into the world. Just then, a voice came from behind the two of them. From behind them, a voice echoed. My girlfriend is getting married. The house is set. Stunned. Believe. Slowly. Walking over slowly. The illness is, why are you keeping this from me? Left out. Beating around the bush. Sun Yi's mother was startled. How come I never heard her mention it? Yi Chen directly put his arm around Sun Yi. You know her personality. Do not you? Meanwhile, the woman saw her plans being interrupted. The woman nearby was furious that her scheme was ruined. The woman saw her good deed being spoiled. Losing her temper, she pointed at Yi Chen. You are talking nonsense. Pointing at Yi Chen, she yelled, you are lying. I told you she did not have a boyfriend. He looked at Sun Yi with a faint smile. See, since they do not believe us, should not we give them some proof? Sun Yi's face flushed. This rascal. Is he really here to help me solve the problem or make it worse? Together, on the face. A playful look appeared on Yi Chen's face. So effortless. Both of them. He handled those men so easily. Is he really Sun Yi's boyfriend? They began to believe that Yi Chen was indeed Sun Yi's boyfriend, but facing the prophet right in front of them. How could they give up so easily? The surgery fee is a massive amount. Any real man should be able to afford it. Isn't it just around 400,000? I already paid it on my way here. They still refuse to let the matter drop, throwing around 400,000 like it is pocket change. That is a big talker. If you paid the fee, where's the receipt then? Yi Shen did not expect these two to be so persistent. He thought, I rushed here. I did not have time to actually go to the counter. Wait until the payment is processed. Sold out. Ni. He continued to maintain a calm front and said, the money. I did not give it to the hospital. Instead, I gave it to the top doctor in Zhongcheng. Yi. He will heal Haozi. The woman continued to interrogate him. Yi, where did this divine Dr. Yi in Zhongcheng come from? How come I have never heard of him? Don't tell me this divine Dr. Yi is actually you, kid. Yi Sen could not help but admire the woman's intuition. Was she a damn detective in her past life? She is too hard to fool. That is right, I am divine Dr. Yi. The couple immediately burst into mockery. If you are a god, then I am a freaking immortal. I would be a damn living saint then. Haha, that is hilarious. But they did not notice the sound of someone appearing at the doorway. Family members, stop shouting so loudly. Please do not. The man recognized the elder as the renowned divine Dr. Chu. Good. You still remember me. I am Sun. Watermark. I am Sun. Don't you remember me? Last time we even had dinner together. The elder suddenly caught sight of the young man behind him. His expression changed. He hurriedly pushed the man aside and ran towards Yi Chen. I never expected to see you here. Indeed, last time at the Shen residence, you truly opened my eyes. Last time at the Shen residence, you truly opened my eyes. Opened my eyes. Last time at the Shen residence, you truly showed me what greatness is. The elder's fawning behavior shocked everyone present. Yi Chen frowned slightly. Who are you? The elder was stunned for a moment. Who is this? Oh, the Shen residence. So it is little Chu. You have put on some weight recently. The old man has a weird habit. He wants to touch his hand. Seeing the man's hand, he just wanted to. Oh my divine Dr. Yi, it really has been a long time. I knew we were destined to meet again. I was wondering where we would meet next. The elder looked embarrassed. Divine Dr. Yi, do not you remember? We met last time at the Shen residence. Yi Chen finally remembered. Fine. Is he really that capable? This kid is not a fraud, is he? He must be a scammer. And I thought you were just some mediocre guy who fools rich people for a living. Sun Yongfu felt a surge of joy in his heart. No matter how I look at him, this brat is a total con artist. Dr. Chu was just being polite, yet he dared to be so disrespectful. This kid is definitely toast now. Then, pointing at Yi Chen, he sneered at Drive. Chu, this boy is nothing but a street swindler. You must not let him deceive you. Don't be fooled by him. Sun Yongfu then looked at Yi Chen and everyone else present. The atmosphere became tense. The elder suddenly pointed at two burly security guards. These two individuals, just now, were severely out of line. Make sure these two do not spread their madness here. Disperse them. Clear them out to prevent any trouble. Right now. Move. I suggest we handle these two with humanitarian care. I recommend giving these two a lesson they won't forget. Seal the area. The guards immediately grabbed the two and dragged them out. Despite the couple's pleas for mercy, no one paid them any mind. Yi Chen looked at the elder meaningfully. I did not expect this from you. Your medical skills are average, but your methods of dealing with people are quite ruthless. Hearing this, the elder chuckled. Suddenly, a delicate hand pulled on Yi Chen's sleeve. Please help us plead for mercy. Our family will cover all the surgery costs. Before Yi Chen could even speak, the elder interrupted. The old doctor chuckled and signaled a physician nearby. The elder gave a firm order to the staff. With a solemn expression, the elder said, "Bring me the patient's medical files immediately. I need to review Sun Ji's case right now. Prepare the surgical records for Sun Yi's father. I will personally perform his surgery." After arranging everything, he looked at Yi Chen with a flattering smile. Divine Dr. Yi, what do you think of this arrangement? Yi Chen nodded slightly. I will leave House's surgery in your hands. Can you handle it? The elder gave Yi Chen an assuring look. I will operate personally. There will be absolutely no issues. Yi Chen then took out a piece of paper. This is a basic technique for utilizing qi. It will greatly enhance your medical prowess. The elder took the paper with trembling hands. This is the long-lost blood qi needle technique. With your guidance, my skills will surely reach a new level. Yi Chen then pulled out a card. By the way, how much are the medical fees? The costs for the medicine. I will definitely pay you. The elder waved his hands frantically. No, I can't accept that. He kept waving his hands in refusal. How could I charge you when I am the one operating? Please rest assured, he said. Everything is on me. They were in utter disbelief. Sun Yi's entire family was stunned. Ji's major crisis was solved just like that. Who exactly is this boyfriend of Sun Yi? A moment later, they walked out of the hospital building. Go home and get some rest, Sun Yi. You have us now. Sun Yi, there is something I need to tell you. I have to discuss something with you. Sun Yi, Dad has something to say. Even though you and Yi Chen are dating, living together so soon might be inconvenient, at least until marriage. Everything is settled. I have taken all the proper precautions. Sun Yi looked flustered. What on earth are you talking about? Wait. I did not expect your father to be so open-minded. How could you eavesdrop on us? Yi Chen replied helplessly, it is not my fault. Who told me to have such sharp hearing? My hearing is just too good. Too good. Ah. Quickly. Go. Sun Yi's eyes widened. These are my car keys. Even the keychain is exactly the same. Yi Chen said calmly, when that family tried to seize it, when they drove it away, when the company took the supercar. I have got your back. As your boyfriend, I naturally had to take it back. Yi Chen called her darling. Silenced. Quiet. Thank you. Deeply suppressed emotions returned as she looked at him. Thank you. Everything she lost was now being returned. Thank you. Starstruck, she said thank you, feeling the weight of his care in this cold world. Thank you, silly girl. Chen. Yi Sen tried to comfort her. Silly girl. He comforted her gently. You silly girl. In fact, I am the one who should be saying thank you. Silly girl. Actually, I should be the one. The one who truly needs to say thank you is me. To be honest, it is really me. The one who should say thank you most is me. I mean it. Along the way, Sun Yi's heart felt warmer and warmer. Through everything, you have always protected me, keeping me safe, constantly helping me. Why do you feel the need to thank me? Just because I took you in. Yi Chen smiled slightly. Perhaps you. He smiled. Perhaps you will know the answer tomorrow. She listened, her heart racing. Are you playing hard to get again? Suddenly, the temperature inside the car dropped. Sun Yi could not help but shiver. Yi Chen, I suddenly feel so cold. Is the car's air conditioning broken? Yi Chen's expression shifted instantly, because he felt that chill, because he sensed a bone-chilling coldness. It was laced with an intense killing intent, containing a powerful force. Listen carefully to what I am about to say. Can you do that? Next, I need you to listen. The aura I am speaking of. Listen. Every single word must be clear. You must listen carefully. Fast. Go back at full speed immediately. First, as soon as I get out, you drive away at full speed. After I leave, floor the gas immediately. First, the moment I step out, drive back to the apartment as fast as possible. Remember. Just go back. Second, once you arrive, take my manual and hide in my room immediately. Third, use my phone. Dial the most recent number in the call history. Once the call connects, beg him. He must send his strongest men to your home within half an hour. If anyone breaks down the door within that half hour, if anyone should force their way in within half an hour, force their way in. If anyone breaks through the door within 30 minutes, do not resist. Surrender quietly. Just surrender obediently. I will come to save you. He then leapt out, landing steadily on the road, driving away, watching Sun Yi's car gradually disappear into the distance. Yi Chen exhaled deeply. A battle between martial arts experts is something ordinary people simply cannot withstand. Having Sun Yi stay by my side would only put her in greater danger. It seems being a lone wolf won't work forever. Building my own power base will be much more efficient. At the same time, an SUV pulled up behind him. Yi Chen. Wait. Two figures got out and headed toward him. Two figures approached. Two figures walked directly toward him. The two figures approached him slowly. Yi Chen sized them up. The man in the suit clearly had some training, but he was nothing special. The only real threat present was the man in the tang suit behind him. A few seconds later, the man in the tang suit spoke first. Yi Chen. That name feels like a lifetime ago. 5 years. 5 whole years. I did not expect a remnant of the Yi family to still be breathing. A survivor of the Yi family's bloodline. If I am not mistaken. Yi Chen's expression remained calm. If I am not mistaken. Yi Chen said indifferently, if I am not mistaken. You had a hand in what happened at Yunyu Villa 5 years ago. You came today to tie up loose ends and kill me, did not you? The man in the tang suit scoffed, kill you? A piece of trash like you is not worth my personal attention. You really overthink your own importance. He then looked at the man in the suit, Huang Qing. Do it. The man in the suit nodded. Immediately he lunged forward, turning into a black shadow. His speed was immense. His eyes were filled with lethal intent. In the blink of an eye, he was right in front of Yi Chen. His fingers were like sharp blades striking down. The moment he reached Yi Chen finally moved. The man in the suit tried to strike down, but Yi Chen did not plan to waste time. He reached out his hand. He threw a direct punch at the man in the suit. Directly. He was so fast that the man could not even react to dodge. The man was blasted back. He crashed heavily, his arrogance instantly extinguished. He slammed into the ground, completely incapacitated. The man in the suit was sent flying with a single blow. The man in the tang suit's face darkened. You useless piece of trash. I gave you a chance, and you are good for nothing. Yi Chen let out a cold snort. His entire body erupted with a murderous aura. Did you really think taking my life would be that easy? The man in the tang suit looked amused. To think a kid like you, after only 5 years of cultivation. Only 5 years. And yet, I never imagined you would achieve this much in just 5 years. Only 5 years of training. Unexpected, indeed. To have such accomplishments. You really, if I let you keep growing, it would be a disaster. Today Yao Jinggu will ensure you die. Cut the chatter. Stop wasting my time. The atmosphere turned ice cold as the killing intent surged. He continued to speak, his voice cold. He stood his ground, radiating power. Family, I was the one who orchestrated the slaughter of your entire family. Yes, I was the one who led the hit on your family. I am the one who hired the killers to wipe them out. I brought death to everyone you love. So be it. Understand. He spoke as if he were discussing something completely trivial. But, however, it seems you do have some skill after all. But this is where your journey ends. Yi Chen's brow furrowed slightly. Thinking. Destiny. Yao Jinggu's eyes fixed sharply on Yi Chen. How about you become my dog? Huang Qing was not bad. Since he is dead, you shall take his place. Yes, you will be his replacement. Yi Chen replied with utter disgust. You really think highly of yourself, do not you? You seriously overrate yourself. With just those amateur skills of yours. Hearing this, Yao Jinggu's face thundered with rage. He glared at Yi Chen with murderous intent. At this moment, a murderous aura erupted from Yi Chen's body, like a ghostly phantom swirling around him. Surrounding the area, the clinical precision of his power began to manifest. You are finished. Showing a dominance that demands submission, Yao Jinggu realized this power was on a whole different level. He stared fixedly at Yi Chen. His face was filled with nothing but horror. Yi Chen let out a cold sneer. You can die just as easily as the rest. A flicker of fear finally appeared in Yao Jinggu's eyes. It is impossible for Huasha to have such a young grandmaster. To become a young grandmaster, one must cultivate for at least 40 years, consuming countless rare treasures, to forcefully break into that realm, to step into the grandmaster realm. He gritted his teeth, trying to stop his inner trembling. He desperately suppressed the shock in his heart. I do not know what wicked arts you used to reach such a level in just a few short years. Even so, the gap in experience is something you cannot overcome. Yao Jinggu's expression turned grim. His body crouched low like a predator, moving like a beast of prey. Like a hunter on the prowl, like a shadow before the kill, targeting Yi Chen instantly, like a hunting leopard. He lunged forward, appearing right in front of Yi Chen. His fists turned into claws, aiming straight for Yi Chen's head. A heavy strike. Your fate is sealed. The final blow. Yi Chen remained cold. True Qi surged. Go. Rising. Clouds. Jinggu's attack clashed violently. Yi Chen countered with a direct palm strike, manifesting energy, condensed aura, rumbling sound. The air itself seemed to scream and explode from the impact. Then a blade-like energy slashed across the front. A sharp strike followed. Yi Chen's hand. Suddenly, on Yi Chen's hand, several bloody scratches appeared. Meanwhile, Yao Jinggu's entire body suffered a massive shock. His huge frame shook violently. Not bad. He was forced back several steps. Not bad at all. He actually withstood my killing move. To be able to withstand such force, to survive a strike of that caliber. Yi Chen examined the wounds on his hand. He could not help but look at his opponent with a bit more interest. To be able to actually injure me. I suppose I underestimated you slightly, but so what if you scratched my hand a little? Even if you landed a few scratches, what does it change? Yao Jinggu, shaking to his core, looked at the incredibly indifferent Yi Chen, just as he thought Yi Chen was merely being stubborn. His eyes widened in sudden shock. His internal energy surged violently. A spray of fresh blood cocked out from his mouth. A sharp, agonizing pain shot up from his hand. His fingers were mangled, dripping with blood. Yi Chen let out a cold snort. The gap in experience you mentioned. Is that all? Yi Chen looked down at Yao Jinggu with eyes of utter disdain. The killing intent behind him intensified, even thicker than before. The pain you inflicted on me 5 years ago is still fresh in my memory. Today that debt must be paid in blood. As his voice fell, Yi Sham leapt into the air. A silver flash of cold light erupted. He delivered a merciless kick from mid-air. Seeing this, Yao Jinggu tried to adjust his stance to counter. He gathered all his strength for a final strike. As Yi Chen hung in the air, Yao Jinggu thought he saw an opening. He believed victory was within his grasp. You are still too young after all. In the air, you have nowhere to hide. Nowhere to hide. You are just a sitting duck. A sitting duck. You will become. I will finish you right here. Yao Jinggu concentrated his true essence into his palm. The king of Jiangnan's subordinate launched a desperate attack. The impact was imminent. Bones groaned as he shifted his position. He stood his ground for the clash. His hand, gathered with true qi, left a trail of afterimages. A blur of pure energy. I will break your legs. Just a broken leg for starters. He felt his muscles and bones tensing. Everything depended on this. Look at you. Suddenly, in the next second, his laughter stopped abruptly. In mid-air, Yi Chen's figure began to dissipate like smoke. Yi Chen's shadow was like a mist. His figure vanished rapidly like a phantom. A fake, it was an illusion made of killing intent. How could he have reached such a high level of cultivation? The reality was shifting. The real Yi Chen appeared right above him. He struck straight down toward Yao Jinggu's head. In an instant, a human-shaped crater was smashed into the ground. Debris flew everywhere amidst a thick cloud of dust. He had practiced martial arts for 40 years. He had consumed countless rare treasures, just to barely step into the ranks of a martial arts grandmaster. Now, he was being stepped on by a young man, trampled underfoot. This young man, crushed under his heel, to think he would be crushed like this by a mere youth. As the dust began to settle, several deep cracks appeared on the road, fractures everywhere. Yi Chen spoke coldly, so much for being a grandmaster. A disgrace to grandmasters, Yi Chen muttered. Is this all a grandmaster is? Pathetic. Smashed onto the ground, covered in fresh blood. He was weak to the extreme. He lifted his head, face covered in gore. He mumbled incoherently, impossible. This is impossible. Muttering in disbelief, Yi Shen reached out and grabbed him by the collar. An icy voice echoed from behind him. A heartless, freezing voice rang out. I have a question for you. Answer me correctly, and I might consider sparing your life. How did you find out about my existence? How many people currently know? Yao Jinggu turned his head trembling. Yao Jinggu shook with fear, trembling as he looked back. Can you? Really? Yi Chen's gaze was sharp. Do you think you are in any position to negotiate with me. At that moment, Yao Jinggu completely submitted. He then spoke up. A few days ago, I was monitoring the data traffic on the dark web. Someone was using the dark web to pull up your personal information. Driven by curiosity, I sent men to track the flow of that database. We found some videos and photos. After comparing them, the similarity between you and the deceased Yi Chen is extremely high. And since I like to nip all threats in the bud, I came for you. After all, Lord Long once gave an order. The Yi family must leave no survivors. Upon hearing the name Lord Long, the so-called Lord Long mentioned by Yao Jinggu is the man who took everything from me. Yi Chen rose and stepped hard on his back. What is Lord Long's real name? Where is he? The voice, filled with chilling intent. His real name? Lord Long. The name is his power. I only know that in the entire ancient martial arts world, even the top families in the capital revere him as a dragon. The elite families in the capital bow to him. Indeed, all the great families in the capital fear and respect him as a dragon. The hierarchy of the capital treats him like a god. He is the dragon. Even if I wanted to tell you more, I do not have the chance. Where? Tell me. No. Do you know where he is? With killing intent surging, Yisham pressed on. The power of the moon. The authority of the sun. It is difficult. So much effort. He nodded weakly. The price. Everyone. Yo. Trillions. Why was Lord Long at Dragon Lake? The dragon. Why did Lord Long have to be at the entrance of Dragon Lake? Why Dragon Lake? Was it because of something my father did? I truly do not know the specific details. The specifics. I only vaguely recall. Lord Long seemed to be searching for something. Lord Long seemed to be after a certain object. The clues pointed directly to the Yi family's legacy. Instantly, Yi Chun thought of the stone his father had given him. If there was anything in the Yi family to attract him, it was likely the samsara graveyard inside that stone. While Yi Chen was lost in thought, the phone in Yao Jinggu's pocket began to ring. Hearing the ringtone, Yao Jinggu instantly changed his demeanor. He grinned sinisterly. Kid, my men have already reached your little girlfriend's apartment. They are at her door right now. Kill me now if you have the guts. However, I cannot guarantee that your little girlfriend will stay in one piece. Whether she lives or dies is up to them. Yi Chen's foot slammed down on his head. The threat was cut short. Blood splattered everywhere, bright red. A cold, decisive strike. The matter was settled with ruthless efficiency. As Yi Chum turned to leave, a headless corpse was left on the shattered ground. Meanwhile, he rushed toward the location. Moving with incredible speed, he charged straight to the door like a beast. His aura was overwhelming. There was no time to lose. He did not care about anything else but her safety. She ran toward the apartment to the east. Was it just an illusion? She felt like someone was following her. Sun Yi sprinted with all her might. The moment she entered the apartment building, the moment she finally made it inside, her legs were trembling uncontrollably. Her mind was racing. She pushed herself to the limit. No, I can't rest yet. I must get to Yi Chen's room immediately, and use Yi Chen's phone to make a call. Meanwhile, on the other side, a strange ringtone echoed. The man had just answered the phone, when an urgent voice came through. It is Sun Yi. I am at the Zhongcheng Grand Apartments, Block C, Room 1003. Zhongcheng Grand Apartments. Room 1003. Send everyone you have, the strongest ones. What are you doing? Send the best people. I need your strongest men right now. Hurry, someone is breaking down the door. The uncrowned king of the underworld. Because it was a setup. Right now, inside the Grand Apartments, several dark figures appeared at the apartment entrance. A sinister voice rang out. Mr. Yao said, dead or alive, finish it quickly and cleanly. If there are any witnesses, execute them all on the spot. Hearing this, they cracked their knuckles. Their faces were filled with murderous intent. They stepped into the apartment. At the same time, the phone in the room was connected urgently. The call went through. Is anyone there? This is Sun Yi. I am at Yi Chen's place, Zhongcheng Grand Apartments, Block C, Room 1003. I need you here within half an hour. Send your strongest people to protect me. They are coming up. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Understood. Very well. Quickly. Alive. The phone. She was panicked. The CEO hung up the phone. She was trembling with fear. Please, hurry. Move fast. Is it the police? Is this number for the police? Regardless of who it is, I just hope they can save me in time. Inside the Qianlong building in Jiangnan province. In Jiangnan, a stalwart figure stood tall. A powerful silhouette appeared. Under the moonlight. His face was full of ruthlessness. Who on earth dares to touch the palace master's people? As the king of Jiangnan, I will tear them to pieces. I, the king of Jiangnan. His eyes narrowed sharply. He roared with violent authority, "Come here." As his voice fell, two figures appeared before him. Two shadows immediately materialized in front of him. They knelt on one knee, awaiting orders. Head to Zhongcheng immediately. Protect that woman at all costs. I am coming too. After all this, prepare the helicopter immediately. Get the chopper ready now. I am going to Zhongcheng tonight. His subordinate hesitated for a moment and said, "My lord, tomorrow is the final negotiation with the 8 major families. The meeting with the 8 families is crucial. This concerns the entire balance of power in Jiangnan province." But before the subordinate could finish speaking, the man's gaze turned cold. His voice carried a chilling edge. "Tell them that I do not give a damn. If anyone dares to defy me, I will make sure they never see another sunrise." Following a sudden, thunderous crash, the heavy impact shattered the main door of Sun Yi's apartment. It was kicked into pieces in an instant. The intruder's sinister gaze swept across the room, detecting the lingering scent of a woman. Several shadows then filed into the room. A grim, eerie laughter echoed from within, found her. A sinister grin formed as they cornered their prey. "Don't make it too easy for me to find you." Outside the bedroom door, fear began to manifest in every shadow. Her heart felt as if it were suspended in mid-air, staring intensely at the door as the light flickered, glaring at the bedroom door with desperation. Her eyes were fixed unblinkingly on the entrance. But Sun Yi discovered to her astonishment, a faint, mysterious energy began to flow. A milky white glow emanated from the door. She rubbed her eyes in disbelief, realizing it was not just a hallucination. No matter how much force they applied against it, the barrier remained unshaken and resolute. Just outside the threshold, the intruders grew increasingly agitated and fierce, their movements becoming more violent and desperate. They blocked the path, crowding right at the door, struggling wildly, with hideous expressions on their faces, spewing filth and insults, vomiting venomous words from their mouths. Confused, several of them turned to look back, as that person continued to speak. "I have not been able to contact Mr. Yao for a while now. It has been a long time since we last heard from Mr. Yao. Only his death can provide answers. Keep him alive. He is still useful. Even so, you can still have a little fun with them. Feel free to play around first." The man let out a sinister grin, assuming a charging stance, to break through the final barrier. Prepared to smash the last obstacle in his way, he threw a punch that seemed to challenge the heavens, striking the bedroom door with immense power. He unleashed a devastating blow toward the room. A massive sound of impact reverberated. The deafening collision echoed through the hall. The entire room seemed to tremble violently. To everyone's shock, the wooden door, which should have shattered, was unharmed. The man who threw the punch froze in place, his eyes filled with utter confusion at the result. "This door took my full force punch, and yet, it does not even have a scratch." The others felt something was incredibly wrong, while some still wore expressions of contempt. Cold sweat began to pour down, as the attacker started to move back, trying to force his way into the room. Suddenly, a surge of eerie blue flames ignited from the hands of the man who struck the door. He tried desperately to shake them off, but the fire seemed to seep into his very marrow, completely impossible to extinguish. In an instant, it consumed his entire body. Blood-curdling screams pierced through the entire apartment. There is a saying in the world of martial arts: better to offend the top families of Jiangnan province than to cross the king of the underworld, Yi Lingqian, as the uncrowned king of the underworld. Even he has a line he dares not cross. Meanwhile, inside the apartment, the man dressed in black was entirely covered in those eerie blue flames. The phantom fire enveloped him completely, burning into his bones beyond any hope of stopping. The rest of the group looked on in pure terror. Utter despair, terror filled the eyes of the two men standing by. They could not believe he died just like that. One of them tried to keep his cool, while the other began to tremble. His internal energy was peak, yet his skills were useless here. "I am afraid the murderous aura from that door will swallow us whole. The target, Mr. Yao wants dead this time, is no ordinary man." Hearing this, a hint of panic flashed across their faces. "So, what do we do now?" The very next second after he spoke, several men pulled out a set of lock-picking tools. "Since brute force is not working, we will just use the tools to crack the lock." They were professional assassins, after all. Assassins. It is only logical for them to carry lockpicks. It is standard equipment. Carrying high-end picking tools is quite reasonable. It makes perfect sense. Meanwhile, inside the room, the sound of wailing echoed from outside the door. Sun Yi grew even more restless and worried. She was not a fighter, and her anxiety was reaching its limit. Suddenly, a clicking sound reached Sun Yi's ears. A crisp sound of the mechanism turning. It was the sound of the defense being breached. A sharp metallic click echoed, the sound of the latch moving. The door was unlocked. A large hand pushed it open. Well, what do we have here? I did not expect such a beautiful girl. Sun Yi saw them barging in. Despair washed over her. She could only slump helplessly on the bed. She sat there, paralyzed and weak. The men glared at Sun Yi with pure malice. Just to catch you. I lost one of my brothers. You would better make it up to me, would not you? You will have to compensate us well. You are going to pay for this. The man behind him warned, don't take it too far. Remember, we need her alive. The leader nodded. At this moment in Sun Yi's mind, only Yi Chen's final instructions remained. If you are discovered, do not resist. Surrender quietly. Wait for me to come and save you. And she firmly believed that Yi Chen would definitely come for her. She closed her eyes tight and curled into a ball. A hand was slowly reaching out towards her. Suddenly, the sound of something piercing the air came from the window. The next second, the man reaching out froze in place. A red dot appeared right between his eyebrows. A laser sight was locked on his forehead. The windowsill. A figure appeared on the windowsill. A cold voice rang out. I am the King of Jongnan's soldier. A chilling tone echoed. The King of Jongnan's men are here. You punks. You actually dared to touch her. You are practically begging for death. Hearing the title, King of Jongnan, the scarred man paused, his heart sinking. I am just here for the girl, Yi Chen's woman. Who cares about the King of Jongnan? I am the boss here. Brother, I do not care who you are. You dare to pull a sneak attack. No martial honor at all, huh? But he did not notice. Another shadow had appeared behind him. A sharp blade. Clang. Now, only one remains. The blade tip appeared suddenly from the side, looking at the man who appeared like a ghost from the shadows. His legs were shaking uncontrollably. How did I end up provoking the King of Jongnan? You can dominate Jongnan with your supreme wealth. You may control the powerful families across the Jongnan region, but you must never offend the underground sovereign, the King of Jongnan. The scarred man was about to speak, but a shadow flashed past him. The voice in his throat stopped abruptly, and at this very moment, inside the room, the air was still. 3 cold bodies lay inside. The room held 3 ice-cold corpses, yet his face gradually became calm. 2 men stood before him and bowed deeply. Miss Sun, you do not need to worry. We are Mr. Yi's men. Sun Yi froze for a few seconds, filled with shock and doubt. Mr. Yi, are you talking about Yi Chen? Meanwhile, on the other side, inside Tiandeng Mountain Cemetery, Yi Chen stepped into this graveyard. Generations. Secrets. Dense clusters of tombstones stood here, looking incredibly desolate. With one hand he dragged Yao Jinggu, who was barely breathing, walking step by step toward the high ground. Before long, he stood motionless before a tombstone, moving, standing amidst the flowers, like a statue carved from stone. After a moment, a trembling voice came from his throat. Mom, Dad, today is the anniversary of your passing. Chen has come to see you. Time swept through his desolate thoughts, piling dust and stones into these graves. Under the bleak moonlight, a lonely silhouette was revealed, sitting before the tablet, motionless as a rock. Tears streamed down his cheeks and hit the ground. Yi Chen raised his foot. He forced the man to kneel before the spirits, directly dragging him to bow before the graves, forcing him down in front of the tombstone. The already incredibly weak Yao Jinggu coughed up another mouthful of blood, curled up on the ground before the grave. He no longer looked like a martial arts grandmaster. He was nothing more than a pathetic beggar. A cold chill rose from his heart. His whole body trembled with icy fear. An icy coldness filled his very soul. Yao Jinggu struggled to hold on, his heart full of bitterness. A thread of life, double the karma, double the debt. Yao Jinggu still tried to maintain a sliver of his dignity, a grandmaster's pride. As a martial arts grandmaster, how can I bow to mere mortals? Just kill me already. I would rather die than suffer this humiliation. Without hesitation, Yi Chen reached out his hand. Yi Chen, without a moment's pause, grabbed him directly by the head. In the next second, he exerted sudden force, slamming his head heavily against the ground. In just an instant, blood seeped from the man's skull onto the soil. But this was far from enough. Yi Chen vented the fury in his heart. Kowtow for me, kowtow again. 10 consecutive strikes. The head was completely covered in blood, lying on the ground like a dead fish. Countless, weak, pathetic. Everything is logical. His body surged. A cold, murderous intent erupted. Next. Blood. Fresh blood spilled before the tombstone. A severed head. The one from Yao Jinggu. Wrapped inside is indeed the head of Yao Jinggu. After finishing this, Yi Sem headed down the mountain, returning once more to his parents' grave, alone. Standing before the tombstone, he drank until he was solitary and drunk, determined to find justice for them. This Your servant. Years away from Yunyu. Everything that was taken from the Yi family at Yunyu Villa. The pressure of the mountains. Those men from the capital. I will personally send them to hell to atone for their sins against you. Early the next morning, a graceful woman approached softly, spreading her gentleness all along the way, calling all living things to awaken, also dispelling the coldness from Yi Chen's world. But what happened last night had already made that figure deeply engraved in her heart. The mystery and the shock left her mind in a whirl. She could not help but wonder. Back then, when Sun Yi was just a little girl, if things had been different, perhaps I would not have hesitated. Before the tombstone at the entrance, a man, in the distance, blurred. He was drinking. Driven by curiosity, Sun Yi slowly approached him with a curious heart. Step by step, the man's silhouette gradually became clear, and the moment she saw him clearly, the moment she recognized that man, her mind went blank, her eyes welled up, her whole body began to tremble. That man was Yi Chen. She muttered a few words. Suddenly enlightened, she could not control her tears as she looked at Yi Chen. Yi Chen, oh Yi Chen, I should have known it was you. No wonder you stayed so close to me, helping me solve every problem, protecting me. Handling everything. Yes, only you would do this. Why did not you tell me sooner? Oh, the Yi family's tragedy back then. The burden you carried alone. How much have you changed? The painful experiences you must have endured. Now you are bearing all this weight alone. Uncle, auntie, long time no see. I never thought Yi Chen would finally come back this year. He is really back. Rest assured, I will look after him for you. I won't let him act recklessly. The danger he faces. He has already become an exceptional man. He has grown into a truly outstanding man of power. So crisp and clear. Yi Chen looked up, slightly stunned to see Sun Yi. Like a scene from a story, she reached out to stop him from drinking more. She casually grabbed his hand. You reek of alcohol. Honestly, the smell of booze is killing me. You drank all night, did not you? I told you. I am watching over you. So go home now, take a shower and get some sleep. Hearing this, Yi Chen felt a warmth in his heart, but he still stubbornly replied, You are not my wife yet. Sun Yi stood her ground. Silently. I will take over from here. Let us head out now. Yi Chen took another look at the tombstone. Yi Chen gazed at his mother's grave once more, perhaps compared to regaining everything. The scene before him now is what Mom and Dad truly wanted to see. Finally, Yi Chen left with Sun Yi's support. In the end, he leaned on Sun Yi as they walked away together. 3 hours later, inside the Tiandeng Mountain Cemetery, his complexion looked pale. The dark circles around his eyes were in stark contrast to his face. It was obvious he had not rested at all. It was because of the recurring nightmares these past few nights. As if drawn by fate, led by an invisible hand, Chu Shiren stood there. Her gaze fell upon, her eyes landed on a bloody bag. A pungent stench of blood assaulted her nostrils. Frowning, she leaned down and opened the bag. She instinctively recoiled several steps, backing away in pure shock, paralyzed for a second. The horror. She saw it. Clear as day, pure terror. She was not just scared for no reason. It was because she recognized the severed head inside that bag. She could not fathom what kind of person could actually slay a great master and use him as a grim warning. Then she noticed this was the Yi family gravesite. Thinking back to the Chen family's deaths a few days ago, she suddenly understood everything. This was revenge for the Yunyu Villa incident 5 years ago. 40 years of cultivation, consuming countless rare treasures, just to reach the rank of a martial arts master. A master of the way, yet his head was severed, and placed before the tombstone as an offering. Placed right there. Someone did this intentionally. Someone has come for vengeance. The reckoning has come for those involved. Meanwhile, inside the Dadu apartment, the two people in deep sleep were startled by a knock, a sudden pounding on the door. Yi Chen quickly snapped his eyes open. He rubbed his heavy, aching head, massaging his temples to ease the grogginess. This was the first time he had drunk so much wine. Sun Yi was also waking up. She rubbed her blurry eyes, suddenly realizing the situation. She looked over and saw him, and reality kicked in. Blushing furiously, Yi Sen asked Sun Yi, Why are you sleeping in my bed? Don't tell me you are starting to lust after my body. Sun Yi was so flustered she wanted to smack him. She huffed, trying to keep her cool. Who would ever want to lust after you? She was fuming at his teasing. Weren't you the one who would not let go? You were acting like a clingy little kid last night. It was all you. Like a spilled glass of water. And now I am covered in the smell of your alcohol. Yi Chen smirked and replied, Well, you are my temporary wife, after all. She looked both annoyed and amused. My temporary wife, indeed. Is that so? Sun Yi sighed. She muttered, "It is not like I would say no to that. But at least do not say it only when you are drunk." Yi Shen wanted to continue the banter, but the urgent knocking broke the warm atmosphere. The persistent sound at the door demanded their attention. Sun Yi hurriedly pushed Yi Shen away to go check it. Sun Yi hurriedly pushed Yi Chen away. Sun Yi hurriedly retreated, leaving Yi Chen standing there. "I will go change my clothes first." Yi Chen slowly walked toward the door. After opening the door, a petite figure appeared before his eyes. Yi Chen was slightly stunned. It was Shen Mengya. "Why are you here?" Shen Mengya immediately explained, "Mr. Yi." She quickly clarified, "Mr. Yi, didn't you have a dinner appointment with my father? Weren't you supposed to have dinner with my father today? Since we could not reach you by phone, we had no choice but to come looking for you." Yi Chen scratched his head. He finally remembered the dinner invitation from Shen Haihua. He recalled the meeting with the chairman of the Haihua group. He then said, "Let us meet at number 14 Yilin Lane. I will see you guys tonight." Shen Mengya returned to the car. She relayed the message. Back in the car, she informed Shen Haihua of the location. Upon hearing it, he looked confused. "No. 14 Yilin Lane. Which restaurant is located there? Is there even a restaurant like that in Zhongcheng?" After a moment of silence inside the car, the driver spoke up timidly, "President Shen, I happen to know that place. It is just that it does not quite match your status." Interrupting him, he said, "As long as you know where it is fine. It must be special. I thought it was some prestigious and luxurious estate. Could it be an ultra-exclusive private club? No matter how expensive it is worth it to treat Mr. Yi." But the reality was quite the opposite. The driver continued awkwardly, "President Shen." He hesitated before adding, "That place is famous for—" "Wait, it is located right there. Only a rundown shack would be in a place like that. The average spending is very low. It is basically a small street food stall. The average cost is only $30. It is a dive." Shen Mengya shook her head in disbelief. That guy just received $1 billion medical fee, and yet, he wants to eat street snacks. Evening arrived. As night fell, the sky grew dark. The luxury car pulled up. It came to a halt. With a confused expression. "What kind of car is this? It looks incredibly expensive, but I know for sure it is worth a fortune. Why would someone who drives such a car come to eat at a small shop like this?" They noticed the vehicle outside. Sun Yi quickly explained to the owner, "Zhang Yi, these are the guests I invited. Please get things ready quickly." Shen Haihua gazed at the modest surroundings with shock. He was stunned by the simplicity of the place. He looked around, trying to process the scene. Is this really the place? It is so humble. Shortly after, the car door opened. Shen Haihua approached Yi Chen with a smile. "I could smell the delicious aroma the moment I stepped out, as expected of a place chosen by Mr. Yi." Everyone. Sun Yi also stepped forward to greet them warmly. Seeing them, she also hurried over to welcome them. "Please come inside." A moment later, the four of them sat together. Several plates of grilled skewers were served on the table. Shen Mengya went from being disdainful earlier to eating heartily now. Shen Haihua scanned the room. He realized that their table were the only customers. It seems business here is quite poor. He immediately beckoned his assistant. "Xiao Shu, have the marketing department arrange some promotion for this place. Even if I have to turn this entire street into a popular food hub, I will make sure this shop succeeds. From now on, there won't be a single empty seat during dining hours." The driver, Xiao Shu, quickly nodded. "Don't worry, President Shen. This is a simple matter to handle." The two people upstairs, Ren Yifang and her husband, were left dazed and speechless. They never expected that with just a few words, Shen Haihua could change the fate of this declining street. And he was doing it all for the sake of Yi Chen. It was simply unbelievable. A hint of appreciation flickered in Yi Chen's eyes. "President Shen, you are very thoughtful." "President Shen, I thank you on behalf of Uncle Wang and Zhang Yi." Shen Haihua exchanged a few pleasantries. Then he got straight to the point. "Mr. Yi, you invited me to dinner. I assume it was not just for the food, right?" Yi Chen put down his chopsticks. "President Shen is indeed sharp. Since we are both business-minded people, then I won't beat around the bush. President Shen, how much do you know about the Tianzheng group?" Shen Heiwa's pupils contracted instantly. His face was filled with shock. He looked at Yi Chen as if he were looking at a ghost, or a legendary figure. 5 years ago, Tianzheng group was the enterprise of the Yi family in Zhongcheng. Yi Tianzheng, the man at the helm, was once incredibly glorious. However, after the tragedy at Yunyu Villa, the Yi family was wiped out. Tianzheng group was carved up and swallowed by many forces. To cover their tracks, those forces rebranded Tianzheng group multiple times, under the pretext of asset restructuring. Where exactly is Tianzheng group now? Mr. Yi, why are you so concerned about the Tianzheng group? This is about the family that was destroyed back then. Before he could finish, a flash of realization struck Shen Heiwa's mind. Mr. Yi, Yi Chen. The Yi family. So he did not die. The young man before him possessed the power to bring the dead back to life. He is no ordinary man. He is a master who has returned from the abyss. A powerful aura began to rise slowly from Yi Chen. His presence became overwhelming, like a dragon awakening. The atmosphere in the room grew heavy and intense. It felt as if a king was reclaiming his throne. It seems President Shen has already pieced everything together, and I have only one purpose for calling you here. I want to take back the Tianzheng group. Back then, Tianzheng was a titan that stood above all others. But then came the Yunyu Villa massacre. The leader, Yi Tianzheng, met a tragic end. Tianzheng group was torn apart by various vultures. Yi Chen's gaze was cold, enough to freeze one's soul. Every word he spoke carried the weight of a mountain. The truth was finally coming to light. The era of those who betrayed him is ending. The debt will be paid in full. The hunter has now become the prey. Shen Haihua snapped out of his shock and looked at Yi Chen. Are you truly prepared for this? Yi Chen said calmly, of course. The price of betrayal will be higher than they can imagine. I will reclaim what belongs to my family, piece by piece. No one can stop the return of the Yi family. The gates of hell have opened for those who wronged us. After a moment of silence, Shen Haihua spoke. Continuing, he said, I do indeed know some details. Tianzheng Group was carved up 5 years ago. The forces involved are deeply interconnected and complex. The one who took the largest share was the Qing Group, and the man at the helm of Qing Group is Zheng Jingming. Upon hearing the name Zheng Jingming, Yi Chen's killing intent surged uncontrollably. He would never forget that name, even in death. Zheng Jingming was once his father's best friend. He was the uncle Yi Chen trusted the most, but it was also him who personally delivered the invitation to Yunyu Villa into Yi Chen's father's hands. Even as Yi Chen's father was being murdered, he was still smiling, trying to please that man from the capital. Yi Chen's aura erupted, chilling everyone to the bone. His presence felt like a shadow looming over his enemies. The time for reckoning has finally arrived. He will settle every single debt, starting now. A gentle warmth enveloped him, bringing Yi Chen back to his senses. He looked at everyone and gave an apologetic smile. Sorry, I was just reminiscing about some things from 5 years ago. Thinking back, at that moment, Shen Haihua stepped forward. A look of absolute determination flashed in Shen Heihua's eyes. He approached Yi Chen with respect. Looking a bit nervous, he addressed him, Mr. Yi, I noticed you might not be very familiar with the current business landscape. Fortunately, I still have a few connections that could be useful. After we finish here, I will immediately organize the intel on the Qing Group for you. We can work together to find a way to take them down. His voice was steady, but his heart was racing. Shen Haihua could not hide his internal agitation. Even his entire body was slightly trembling with anticipation. Yi Chen was slightly taken aback. President Shen, you said it yourself, the water in this business is deep. Aren't you afraid your Shen family will be dragged into this mess? Shen Haihua let out a hearty laugh. As they say, a businessman always chases profit. If we manage to take down the Qing Group, I would only hope for a 10% share of the profits. I won't ask for anything more. What do you think? If you agree, I will get to work on it immediately. Standing nearby, Sun Yi listened, her heart skipping a beat. Sun Yi felt a sense of bewilderment as she listened. She stood there in a daze. Something felt very different to her now. As the general manager of manhwa group, she knew the rules of the business world all too well. Shen Heihua's move was not just about being a partner. He was practically tying his fate to Yi Chen's. It was a bold move to secure a future alliance. Deep down, she was impressed. Shen Haihua had been in the game a long time. He was a seasoned veteran. This was the ultimate icing on the cake. He was investing in Yi Chen's potential. He knew. Shen Haihua realized. Seeing Yi Chen nod his head, Shen Heihua's body could not help but react. He felt a surge of adrenaline. He bowed slightly, feeling like he would won the lottery. He took a deep breath to steady himself. He knew that if this succeeded, the Shen family would soar to new heights. After a long silence, he regained his composure. He looked at the king of Jiangnan, but he did not notice any obvious reaction. Thinking about it for a moment, he assumed Yi Lingtian had sent people to protect her, that Yi Lingtian was the one looking out for them. Seeing that Sun Yi was safe and sound, he felt relieved. He was preparing. He was getting ready for a meeting. The phone rang. Yi Lingtian's voice came through, Palace Master. He sounded extremely respectful. You are finally, Yi Shen said calmly, if I am not mistaken. You should be in Zhongsheng right now, right? And stop calling me Palace Master. On the other end, Yi Lingtian still insisted on the title. Palace Master, you truly are as divinely prescient as ever. I am indeed here. Yi Chen felt a slight headache. He rubbed his temples. He rubbed his brow and sighed, forget it. Call me whatever you want. Let us meet somewhere at 8 p.m. tonight. There are things we need to settle once and for all. We need to clear the air. A hearty laugh echoed through the phone. Yi Lingtian chuckled, understood, Palace Master. I will be there. As for the location, let us choose the Yuhao Club. It is one of my places. You can trust the privacy there. He remembered that it was the top-tier Yunyu Villa in Zhongcheng. Searching for its location in Zhongcheng. It must be in Zhongcheng. There it is. Leading to the information about this family. Couldn't help but wonder about this family's worth. Mount S. The way of wealth. No man could stay calm upon seeing Chu Shiren. He lightly mentioned your past relationship, asking more gently, are you still dragging out that matter? Even if it was just an accident. Chu Shiren shook her head upon hearing that. The Chu family used all their resources to investigate the cause of death, but the clues would vanish at every critical moment. Someone is deliberately blocking us. Locked. Arrival. The news. Chu's heart settled as he comforted her. Don't overthink it. Tonight, we are meeting someone from the National Security Bureau. Presumably, we can trace it through the network, attempting to connect through the system, at the same time also towards presenting a black card. Important figures are also passing through. First-class guard at the gate, the establishment's entrance. But after entering, the two were surprised to find, today, this place seems different from usual. The number of notable guests has increased. Many high-level experts have arrived. The powerful auras of several masters. Glancing around the room, the man approached Chu Shiren. That hunched old man also looked over at my father. Chu Shiren's expression changed slightly. What is wrong? Do you know him? Father Chu shook his head again. I know of him, but he might not know me. The manager of the Royal Club's Moonstone Hall. Heading to the Royal Club's inner hall. Royal Club Moonstone Hall, regular service. Scheduled for the Royal Club's elite section. Important person on standby. Don't be fooled by his hunched back. In reality, he is a martial arts grandmaster. His strength is formidable. This is why no one dares to cause trouble here. The Royal Club is no ordinary place. Chu Shiren was wide-eyed with realization. Shiren finally understood the weight of the Royal Club. They set aside their previous arrogance. But it should not come to that. But it is not enough to make Zhongcheng. All families are showing their skills. Master of the house. Is it just because he is a grand master? Of course not. The real reason lies with the person behind him. The true power lies with his backer. He essentially dictates the commerce of Zhongcheng. The king of Zhongnan, Yi Lingqian, the uncrowned king of the underworld. His influence reaches everywhere. The dragon among men in Zhongnan. A man of absolute authority. Even the number one family in Zhongcheng, the Chu family, is nothing compared to this man's power. Father Chu looked at Chu Shiren. He quickly warned her not to think about it further. He urged her to stop dwelling on the king of Zhongnan. The gap between our levels is too vast. The person from the National Security Bureau should be arriving soon. We must host them well. You look like you have lost your soul. Chu Shiren finally snapped out of it. Dad, you should handle the hosting. I plan to walk around and get some fresh air. Say no more. With one heart. It is easy to offend someone here. After parting ways, he inspected the price for that face. He went to Mount Yang. Arriving at a cluster of villas at the bay. He came to seek information. An auspicious day, a truly auspicious day. The timing was perfect for the clues he sought. Someone was blocking the path ahead. Two people stood right there. Chu Shiren recognized that face. But then she had a second thought. That trash is actually still alive. He must just be a drifter. Wandering here. He only looks like him, that is all. Coming to this place, Chu Shiren looked at the man with a beaming smile. She had experienced nightmares about that day, and felt a flicker of regret toward Yi Chen. Now, seeing someone so similar to Yi Chen, she naturally wanted to offer some compensation, hoping to gain some peace of mind for herself. Indeed. Chu Shiren questioned him. Chu Shiren approached to interrogate him. Then, with a strong sense of superiority, she said, I mistook you for someone else. You look a bit like an old classmate of mine. You remind me of the past. That guy's life was miserable. Truly a pitiful soul. She then pulled out a business card. I am Shiren. My name is Chu Shiren. Remember my name. Coming to this club. She spoke of the Chu family of Zhongcheng. Her personal business card. If you need help, you can come directly to me. Unexpectedly. The reaction was immense. 1,000,000 to 1 chance. Set the price at 10,000. In the details, it was trampled by him. What kind of thing does the Chu family think they are? Get lost. Chu Shiren was momentarily stunned. Get out. She had not expected this. The other party rejected her. without any hesitation. The situation turned cold instantly. The atmosphere became heavy. The arrogance was pierced. The secret tension erupted. Immediately, she looked at him with an arrogant face. Do you not realize what you are doing? You just missed out on a brilliant future. Do you know that? Yi Chen gave her a cold, sweeping glance. Someone like you thinks they can grant me a brilliant future. I will say it one more time. Get lost right now. I do not want to have to say this a third time. Chu Shiren could no longer hold back. She swung her palm straight at Yi Chen. Just as it was about to strike Yi Chen's face, a voice full of authority interrupted her. Stop right there. What are you doing? She trembled instantly. The person who arrived was significant. Turning around, she saw the elite of the valley. He was a representative of the current medical world. He was the one standing right here now. She immediately changed her expression to a fawning one, hurriedly bowing to the esteemed elder. I am Chu Shiren of the Chu family. I have admired you for years. But before she could finish her sentence, I will just slap you myself. I do not care about some Chu family. Chu family or not, I am the one in charge here. The Chu family is nothing but a joke. How dare you step into my territory? Even half a step further and you are dead. Chu Shiren's face instantly twisted in shock, following his master. Before him, he looked back with a vicious glare. Consider yourself lucky this time. Before long, Yi Chen was led into a private VIP lounge. He waited inside the room, but at this moment, he was growing quite impatient. The appointed time has already passed. Why has not Yi Lingtian arrived yet? This counts as him breaking his word. The road might be blocked by traffic. Please rest assured, Mr. Yi, the king of Jiangnan will be here any moment. Yi Chen's face showed clear displeasure. I only give people one chance. I am not in a good mood. 3 minutes. If he is not here, tell him not to bother coming at all. Such arrogant words. It draws a look of utter disdain. To be so disrespectful. Do you think I, Master Hang, will allow this? Wait. The lounge door was pushed open. A towering figure appeared in everyone's line of sight. When Master Hang saw who it was, his face immediately filled with excitement. He hurried forward to greet him. He bowed deeply. Your Majesty, the king. As he approached, he felt a sense of overwhelming pressure. Greeting the king of Jiangnan. Even as a Grand Master, he was actually trembling. Every movement was cautious. The king moved with authority. You are 2 minutes late. The always mysterious king of Jiangnan had now appeared here just for the sake of a young man, and he actually showed himself here. However, Yi Chen looked extremely displeased with Yi Lingtian. You are late. You kept me waiting. The others were horrified to hear Yi Chen speak to the king this way. They were about to lash out in anger. But in the next second, Yi Lingtian directly knelt down before Yi Chen. Please appease your anger, Palace Master. At this very moment, the entire room fell into a deathly silence. Master Hang's mind went completely blank. He could not believe his own eyes. The ruler of the Jiangnan underworld was kneeling. This was beyond anyone's wildest imagination. His heart felt like it was about to stop. The people behind him were also stunned. The king's image was shattered. Yi Lingtian was a man who made the entire Jiangnan province tremble with fear at the mere mention of his name. All the great families had to yield to him. And yet, this legendary figure was actually kneeling. One must know that for all these years, Yi Lingtian had never knelt. He had never knelt before anyone, nor was it thought possible. But Yi Chen's face remained unmoved. There was even an extra hint of coldness in his eyes. What is the meaning of this? Feeling the chill from the young man before him, he hurriedly explained, Palace Master, please forgive me. It has not been easy to finally meet you, Palace Master. I lost my composure for a moment, but just as he finished speaking, the two people behind him, who had just regained their senses, were shocked again. They realized the gravity of the situation. They finally understood who was truly in charge. Everyone knows. The Jiangnan Hall controls the entire province. They are the strongest underground force, holding the lifeblood of power in the entire Jiangnan province. It is the most terrifying existence in the region. Yet only a select few know that the position of this power's helmsman has been vacant from the very beginning. Yi Lingtian has repeatedly insisted that he is merely an acting controller. He emphasized that he is just a representative. The true master is actually the palace master. But for years, even as Yi Lingtian's trusted confidants, they had never seen the palace master's true face. They never expected to actually meet the legendary palace master today. A look of sudden realization dawned on their faces. They took another deep look at Yi Chen. Immediately, they knelt down along with another elder, hands clasped in respect. Your subordinates pay their respects to the palace master. Seeing this scene, the shock was palpable. It really is the master. Yi Chen chuckled softly, then Yi Lingtian said, You stay. He ordered the elite guards to stand down. The rest of you, leave the mountain now. Yi Lingtian acknowledged the command. Guard the perimeter strictly. Do not let anyone through. If there is any interference, regardless of who it is, there will be no mercy. Kill them on sight. The two subordinates quickly stood and complied. They bowed deeply to Yi Lingyan. After the two of them left, Yi Lingtian spoke respectfully, "Palace master, we have guards stationed. No one will dare to eavesdrop or disturb us." Yi Chen looked at Yi Lingyan with doubt. "I really can't figure it out. Why do you insist on calling me that? Is it just because of what happened years ago? Just because of those few years? Is it because of that incident when I saved you in Yunmu Valley?" Yi Shen recalled that time, when he had just started his cultivation journey. His master took him to Yunmu Valley for training. He happened to see several people being besieged by a large group of martial arts experts, in a life-or-death situation. One could say, Yi Shen did not intend to meddle at first, but once he heard they were from a sect in Zhongnan, and shared the same roots as his family, he took action. He used the talismans given by his master to wipe those people out. Yi Lingchen slowly raised his head. "If you were just the savior from back then, I might only respect you, but—" He produced an ancient emblem, a token of absolute authority, with great solemnity. "The real reason I call you Palace Master is this medal." Yi Chen took the medal and examined it. It was just a simple medal, or so it seemed, but he noticed on the pattern of the medal a young man standing at the peak of a mountain. The facial features were incredibly lifelike. Yi Chen's brow furrowed instantly. "Yi Lingtian, who did you get to make this? And why is my likeness on it?" The uncrowned king of the underworld, actually kneeling to such a young man. Yi Lingtian saw his doubt. Fearing a misunderstanding, "My lord, this has a long history. It existed long ago. Can't you see? This is a family heirloom passed down to me. My great-grandfather was a top-tier expert, a master of feng shui and destiny. Living in such an era, it seems the winds of fate are shifting. In the years to come, outstanding. The farming technique has been mastered. The purple chi of the Dragon Pavilion is rising, ultimately, for the sake of our ancestors. In exchange, I only hope for the family." Upon hearing this, Yi Chen's expression shifted. He thought to himself, "This is a bit much. What era is this? Why are we still talking about debt?" But on second thought, that old man did mention a rise in status. That is why I must save Sha Ruoshui. That is why I need to find Sha Ruoshui. Refining the purple dragon chi to break through. The great dragon, changing the facade, establishing a presence. Yi Lingtian listened to the plan. The Lord speaks. Dealing with that person in the capital. By nurturing this force, given enough time, I will charge into the capital with lethal intent. There are enemies to settle scores with. Right here, a change of face in an instant. I do not need others to avenge me. Who dares to interfere? They are just bystanders. When Yi Lingtian heard this, his face turned pale instantly. A flash of terror crossed his eyes. This subordinate dares not. Please, Lord, appease your anger. After a few moments of silence, Yi Chen held up 3 fingers. Yi Chen said, "I will do it. But you must agree to my 3 conditions. First, no one is to interfere with my business. The life I seek is within my grasp, no one else shall move. My destiny is my own, only I can shake the Zhongnan region. Har. Anyone who touches him will be executed without mercy. Third, use all resources to investigate that man in the capital, and dig deep into the Yunyu Villa incident. This matter is far more complex than it appears on the surface. Keep it in mind, take it to heart. Get it done." After speaking, Yi Sun turned to leave, but suddenly Yi Lingtian spoke again. "Lord, there is something I must report. Recently. Secondly, there has been an intercepted lead, coming from the sun. Good. Entrance. Public entrance. Look. Watch. Practice. Becomes clear. The National Security Bureau and the Dragon Soul Task Force are official authorities. Why are they investigating me? Have they discovered the truth about the Chen family, and that Yao Jinggu's death is linked to me?" Yi Chen's doubts grew. "Rest assured. Regarding Jinggu, everything is covered. A replacement from the top. Mu Yun." Hearing this, Yi Chen did not overthink it further. He then gave a slight nod to Yi Lingyan as thanks. He waved his hand and walked toward the door. Could it be? Suddenly, a youthful figure appeared at the villa, blocking the path. That arrogant silhouette at Yunyu Villa was none other than. It was Chu Shiren, looking at him with a face full of rage. If you kneel down and apologize right now, I might consider letting you live. It all started a few years ago. The Yi family's decline began then, becoming victims of a cruel setup. It was a sick joke played by others, making them the laughingstock of the city. Endless waiting and humiliation. Before the true power was revealed, standing tall once again, if you kneel and apologize right now, I might consider letting you live. Yi Chen only gave a cold look. He then turned his head away, completely ignoring his words. At this moment, Yi Chen had only one thing on his mind, wondering if this person could actually fight. Chu Shiren saw Yi Chen's blatant disregard, and her expression instantly froze. An aura of suppressed rage erupted from her. Her eyes were filled with killing intent. The next second, Chu Shiren lunged forward violently, tearing through the air as she attacked Yi Chen. Just as her hand was about to grab Yi Chen's neck, her movements seemed to slow down in his eyes. Her technique was full of openings. The strike was direct but lacked finesse. She thought she had him pinned, but in an instant Yi Chen's hand moved like a claw, clamping directly onto Chu Shiren's wrist. Chu Shiren, still midair, was stunned. Before she could even react, he swung her over his head like a rag doll, slamming her straight into the ground. Chu Shiren's eyes were wide with disbelief. She, a proud martial artist, was treated like trash, defeated by this man in a single move. She no longer had that high and mighty look. She lay on the ground, looking utterly pathetic. A moment later, Chu Shiren struggled to get up. She spat out a threat, "Kid. Single quote, I do not care who you are. The Chu family will not let this go, unless you hide in the Yu Hao Club for the rest of your life. You are a dead man." The tension escalated. Yi Chen cast a frigid glance at her. He reached out and picked her up bodily. He said coldly, "People with foul mouths like yours, single quote, should be properly recycled." Moments later, carrying the struggling Chu Shiren, Yi Chen stopped in front of a trash can. Chu Shiren seemed to realize his intention. She struggled with all her might, but she could not break free from his grip. With a loud thud, Yi Chen stuffed her head first into the trash can. Only her long legs were visible, flailing desperately outside the bin. Yi Chen looked at the scene with cold perfection. He muttered, "This is where you belong." Then he turned and walked away without looking back. Chu Shiren continued to thrash around, knocking the trash can over onto the ground. When she finally crawled out, all her elegance was gone. She looked like a mess, covered in filth. She glared venomously at the direction Yi Chen had left, wishing she could tear him into 1,000 pieces. The lord of the palace returned to his apartment. Yi Chen arrived back at the villa, but the scene from earlier made him think back to the events of 5 years ago. Chu Shiren was indeed detestable, but she was not directly involved in his parents' death. She did not deserve to die yet, so he had only taught her a small lesson. Of course, if she dared to cross the line again, Yi Chen would not hesitate to kill, even if her whole family stood behind her. Next, if the investigation points to the Chu family, then the Chu family must pay. Lost in thought, Yi Chen pushed open the door and walked in. It was already the early hours of the morning. He figured Sun Yi was already asleep, so he did not want to disturb her. When Yi Chen pushed open the door to his room, after opening his bedroom door, the dim light revealed a silhouette. On his bed, there lay a delicate and beautiful figure, fast asleep with her back to him. So, Yi Chen simply smiled, without thinking too much. He took off his coat and quietly lay down. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the window, shining directly onto their faces. Yi Chen got up. But now, as his gaze shifted, he was stunned. His face showed a hint of awkwardness. It was Sha Ruoshui. "I should be the one asking you that. Why are you here?" Just as Yi Chen finished speaking, Sun Yi walked into the room. "You are back. Wait, what? Didn't you say you were not coming back?" Seeing their disheveled clothes, Sun Yi stood there frozen. She stared blankly, unable to process it for a long time. A man returns home late at night, only to end up in the same bed as his girlfriend's best friend. The moment Sun Yi entered the room, and saw the two of them looking so untidy, the atmosphere became incredibly tense. Sha Ruoshui said awkwardly, "Of course nothing happened. It was just an accident. Don't overthink it." She explained that she had received a sudden call from her mother, saying there was an emergency at the Sha family, and she had to return within a week. "But if I really go back, they will definitely force me to marry that man." Feeling distressed, she had gone out to drink. She wanted to find Sun Yi to vent her frustrations. After drinking too much, she just fell asleep here. As for this guy, how could she have known he would show up? Meanwhile, Yi Chen was also filled with embarrassment. He had actually forgotten that Sha Ruoshui was still staying at Sun Yi's place. Given the situation and the intimacy of the moment, He had to take a stand. It was a matter of principle. He then spoke up, "Since this has happened, I will definitely take responsibility for you." At that moment, tears welled up in Shahruzu's eyes. Responsibility? How can you be responsible? You are just an ordinary man. You have no idea what kind of burden I carry. We simply do not belong to the same world. Yi Chen gave a cold smile. A moment later, after stepping outside the room, the phone in his pocket rang. Shen Heiwa's voice came through. "Mr. Yi, I have news regarding the Tianzheng group." Upon hearing this, a flash of killing intent crossed Yi Chen's eyes. He immediately asked about the current situation. The voice on the other end quickly replied, stating they had found the culprit. The battle was about to begin. Shen Haihua continued to report the findings. "As long as you wish, Mr. Yi, we can make Zheng Jingming sign the papers. The current Tianzheng group, now known as Qing Group, is being targeted by a force from the underworld." He was ready to lead the charge. Hearing this, Yi Chen's expression turned cold. Gong Tian, Jia, Jia, Jia. 2 questions. Regaining control within days. Shen Haihua was visibly agitated. Every expression of Shen Haihua showed intense excitement. Shen Haihua was extremely stirred up. Shen Heiwa's face was flushed with anticipation. Shen Haihua reached a peak of excitement. If Mr. Yi can truly achieve this, within days he will surely. Shen Heiwa's heart was filled with a firm resolve. If Mr. Yi is the real deal, then his capabilities far exceed my wildest imagination. He is someone I must follow at all costs. Night fell quickly. He appeared at the entrance of the Qing building, standing now before the Qing building. At the entrance, right here in Qing, he looked up at the towering skyscraper, his eyes cold as ice. The flickering lights of the city could not hide the killing intent. The palace master stood there, a shadow of death over the building. Looking at the skyscraper, Yi Chen's back was like a sharp sword. Zheng Jingming is inside right now, discussing business. Yi Chen's gaze turned frigid. "Zheng Jingming, are you ready for your reckoning?" Entering the building, Yi Chen headed towards the elevator. Inside the massive building, exactly as the intel from Yi Lingtian suggested, a total of 33 floors. But the elevator only goes so far. Security was tight, blocking the way. White, pale. Those ruthless thugs. Area E, Management Zone, and Zheng Jingming is on the 33rd floor. To get up there without being noticed requires special means. Thinking of this, Yi Chen walked to a deserted corner. Then he reached out his hand. He placed his palm against the glass wall. Steam began to rise, converging in the center of his palm. The temperature skyrocketed instantly. Ripples appeared across the surface of the glass wall. In just a few breaths, the solid wall was melted, leaving a large hole. Yi Chen lowered his hand. A cold smirk played on the corner of his mouth. Without hesitation, he moved toward the opening. No turning back. With one step, he was already scaling the exterior of the 29th floor. A surge of energy pulsed beneath Yi Chen's feet. It was as if an air cushion was lifting him. His knees bent, and he suddenly exploded upward. He sped toward the upper floors like a bolt of lightning. At the same time, the Azure Gate gang members gathered on the 32nd floor. They were idling around, unaware of the danger. Suddenly, the sound of something tearing through the air reached their ears. The man with glasses immediately grew alert. What was that noise? Is someone attacking us? Or did some idiot's gun just go off? He then barked orders at the men in front of him. "You lot, go check it out right now." They lined up behind him, ready for action. Standing up immediately, the crowd stood frozen as a shadow appeared. They glared ferociously at Yi Chen. "Do you have any idea where you are?" Yi Chen's gaze was immovable and sharp. A terrifying, murderous aura erupted from his body. "I am the last person you will ever see in this life." This place was a den of iniquity where no one dared enter. Inside were countless desperate criminals and thugs. They were all staring down this young intruder. The man with glasses, their leader, glared with pure malice. Years of violence made his very presence reek of blood. He looked at Sha Ruoshui for a brief moment. Then his body stiffened and he collapsed to the ground, breathless. The onlookers' faces turned pale with horror at the sight. They began to retreat slowly in fear. But how could Yi Chen allow that? This group of wicked scum. None shall be left alive. Meanwhile, on the 33rd floor of the building, a middle-aged man was deep in conversation with a blonde-haired man. Suddenly, the blonde man noticed a disturbance downstairs. The blonde man sensed it. He sensed the commotion below. His sharp senses picked up the noise from the ground floor. Frowning slightly, he turned to Mr. Zheng Jingming. His brow furrowed as he looked at Zheng. "Something seems to be happening downstairs. Aren't you going to check it out?" Zhang Jingming waved it off. He did not care at all. He was feeling irritable. It is just some minor bickering. Nothing of importance. Besides, this floor is guarded by elite martial masters. Nothing will go wrong. The blonde man gave a slight nod. I see. We have come from America with great sincerity this time. As long as you provide the military testing grounds in Jiangnan, all American business at the port of this city will be entirely yours. Both of their expressions suddenly froze. They were discussing a deal that must succeed. This is high treason. Zhang Jingming remained cold and unmoved. At most, it is just smuggling some pharmaceuticals, trafficking specialized drugs, smuggling firearms and prohibited substances, trafficking weapons and banned narcotics, trading illegal arms and controlled drugs, smuggling firearms and illegal medicine. That is more than enough. But why? The blonde man raised a finger and added, I am increasing the offer, adding more precision automation technology. I am sure you know the value. The market price is high. A premium price tag, exclusive high-end components. Zhang could not believe they were raising the stakes voluntarily. He grinned from ear to ear, unable to hide his joy. He nodded repeatedly. Your country's sincerity is truly impressive. We have absolutely no reason to refuse. Just as the two of them were celebrating their friendship and chatting away in their alliance, suddenly a thunderous explosion erupted. The wall shattered into pieces. Countless debris flew through the air amidst thick rolling smoke. Zhang Jingming and his companion turned pale with shock. A shadow slowly emerged from the dust. Before he even drew near, a suffocating killing intent filled the room. His cold eyes swept across them. He had overheard their treacherous conversation. Their betrayal was now laid bare. His gaze turned icy. You chose not to be decent Huasha citizens, and instead became running dogs for another nation. Zhang Jingming's face instantly stiffened. He looked closely at the intruder. As he got a clearer look at the man, he felt a haunting sense of familiarity. His mind immediately flashed back to 5 years ago, to Yi Chen of the Yi family, who should have been dead. In that moment of stunned silence, Zhang Jingming suppressed the trembling in his heart. He shouted at the top of his lungs, Where are my men? Where are the guards? Get in here. Yi Chen sneered, Save your breath. Don't bother screaming. No one is going to help you, because they are all asleep. The kind of sleep they will never wake up from. Zhang Jingming's face turned pale. He panicked. How is that possible? There were several top-tier experts in there. But the truth slapped him right in the face. Yi Chen then pointed at the document in his hand. He commanded, Sign this now. A cold sneer escaped his lips. The terms, total equity transfer. The kid is arrogant enough. You dare to demand the group's shares. The one who wants the group's shares. Right at that moment, the blonde man nearby made his move. Pointing towards him, the bodyguard shouted, Go get him. Kill him for me. A nod of the head. Immediately after, he pulled a lethal Gatling gun from the vehicle, aiming directly at where Yi Chen stood. The bodyguard's muscles bulged with intensity. The barrels of the gun began to spin rapidly. Countless bullets fired out in a storm of muzzle flashes. However, as far as Yi Chen was concerned, thermal weapons were nothing more than clumsy toys. A barrier appeared in front of Yi Chen. Every single bullet seemed to be frozen, suspended in mid-air. A moment later, Yi Chen extended a finger. Intense murderous aura condensed at his fingertip. He said coldly, I have seen many weapons like this, but I do not like using them. I am giving them back to you. As soon as he finished speaking, the bodyguard's body was struck by a massive force. The burly figure crashed heavily to the ground. The blonde man witnessed the scene. His eyes were filled with utter disbelief. Yi Chen said with a mocking look, Is that it? At that very instant, the two men behind Zhang Jingming also attacked quickly. They snorted coldly, What cheap tricks! After only a few years of training, you dare to be so arrogant here. Yi Chen sensed the energy coming from the two of them. Half-step experts of Jiangnan. They could be considered powerhouses in their own right. But unfortunately, compared to me, they are worlds apart. Like a drop in the ocean, compared to me, they are looking for death. I am the law here. The end. With that, Yi Chen's figure flickered like lightning. He delivered a light strike to both their chests. The bodies of the two men were instantly sent flying by a formidable power. Zhang Jingming was stunned, frozen in place. His heart was racing like a stormy sea. The martial Dao displayed just how powerful is this man's strength. Facing two top-tier martial arts experts, he could actually one-shot them in an instant. To the onlookers, they could not even see his movements clearly. The blonde man began to tremble violently. Total shock took over his entire being. He was shaking from head to toe. Then, deep within his soul, the fear began to take hold. Terrified, slowly. What a great loss. Losing control, there was no chance of victory for them now. An icy chill ran down his spine. His days were numbered. The next second, a foot lunged toward the blonde man's chest, striking with brutal force. The blonde man's body shuddered violently. Blood sprayed out in a crimson mist. a massive cave entrance suddenly appeared. Zhang Jingming's eyes filled with blood when he saw those plants. He was so terrified that he flailed his limbs and began to scream. Immediately, his legs gave out. He collapsed straight onto his backside on the ground. At that moment, the tension between Zhang Jingming and the surrounding network intensified. The atmosphere became incredibly heavy. Yi Sen looked at Zhang Jingming with utter disdain. He beckoned with his hand. You come here and sign this. I will sign. He crawled over as commanded. I will sign it right now, for the sake of the documents regarding the legacy, the prosperity of the assets. He pulled out a fountain pen from his pocket. Trembling, he prepared to sign his own fate by his own. He signed his own name with a shaking hand. Then he crawled to Yi Chen's feet. Handing over the papers, he shivered before the cold presence of the Lord. I am willing to do anything. Yi Sen said coldly, in that case, there is no longer any need for you to remain among the living. Zhang Jingming's face froze in shock. His expression turned stiff. He looked up at Yi Chen. What kind of madness is this? Are you really going to go this far? Do you have any idea that the influence of the underworld is not to be trifled with? There will be blood. The consequences of crossing the sect will be lethal. The Azure sect will never let you get away with this. Yi Chen tilted his head. A chilling aura swept across the room like a cold wind. Originally, I only planned to target the Qing group, but now I have changed my mind. Tonight, the Azure sect shall be wiped from existence. As he spoke, his gaze turned sharp. Do you have anything else to say? The atmosphere grew deathly silent as fear gripped the room. His eyes turned cold, making everyone tremble. Zhang Jingming realized begging for mercy was futile. He switched to a threatening expression. Don't think just because you are a grandmaster that you are invincible. The leader of the Azure sect is also a peak grandmaster. Kill me and not only will you die, but your entire family will suffer the Azure sect's wrath. Suddenly, Yi Chen's aura shifted. Yi Chen's face darkened instantly. A murderous intent erupted. My family. 5 years ago, at Yunyu Villa, upon hearing those words, Zhang Jingming's pupils dilated in pure horror. He stared fixedly at the young man before him. He stared deathly still at the youth. You really are Yi Chen. How are you still alive? He immediately changed his tune. Ah Chen, listen to me. This is all just a big misunderstanding. Your uncle was your father's best friend. How could I possibly harm your family? The moment he finished speaking, Yi Chen's knee slammed directly into Zhang Jingming's face. He slumped to the ground, desperately clutching his bleeding nose. But before he could catch his breath, a bone-chilling voice echoed from behind him. A piece of trash like you thinks he is worthy of talking about me, or worthy of being called my uncle. Zhang turned his head, continuing to plead, Chen, I beg you, please spare me. Think of all the years I have worked for your family. Think of everything. At this moment, Yi Chen laughed. His laugh was incredibly frantic. I should spare you. Why did not you spare the Yi family back then? Why did not you spare my parents? How did my parents ever wrong you? Each question was like a hammer blow to Zhang Jingming's soul. Yi Sam kicked Zhang Jingming squarely in the chest. The force of the strike was devastating. His bloated body was sent flying several meters away. Then Yi Sen followed up with a ferocious punch. Then a fist smashed right into his face. Why did you betray them, if you had not torn my family apart, and taken everything from me? Do you really think I enjoy killing? I wanted to focus on my studies, and live like a normal person. Back then, I would tremble even seeing a chicken being slaughtered. But I had to find a way to survive. I had to endure to stay alive. A moment later, Yi Chen leaned against a corner, gasping for air. He looked at the dying Zhang Jingming, and muttered coldly, I will keep killing, until every last one of you animals is in hell. Evening fell upon the city. Under Yi Lingtian's arrangements, Yi Chen walked out of the building. As for the cleanup work, the men were already clearing the scene. He took one last look. His expression was calm and indifferent. It was time to resolve this. At that moment, a crisp voice called out, Yi Chen, what are you doing here, looking all messy like this? I should be the one asking you that. Is there a criminal nearby? Bai Li Bing responded calmly, keeping her mission a secret. Yi Chen simply waved his hand. He prepared to leave. Then I won't head back either. Just as Yi Chen was about to move, a sudden change occurred. A thunderous explosion echoed from above them. Both of them instinctively looked up. Debris and glass from the building rained down amidst the smoke. The fire was raging towards the sky. Suddenly, a massive boulder plummeted straight toward Bai Li Bing. It was so fast she had no time to dodge. In the blink of an eye, Yi Chen moved. He turned into a blur of an afterimage, lunging towards Bai Li Bing. The moment the boulder crashed down, Yi Chen scooped her up, and with a burst of power, he leapt clear. Once they reached a safer area, Yi Chen asked, are you all right? Bai Li Bing finally snapped out of her shock, but her legs were still trembling slightly. Leaning against him, her face flushed as she whispered, Yi Chen, thank you. Another explosion rocked the city skyline. More debris fell from the heights to the ground. Light flashed through the thick, rolling smoke. The secondary blasts continued to shake the foundation. Just a moment ago, Yi Chen had set Bai Li Bing down. She was clearly scared out of her wits. Her face was deathly pale. The destruction of the building was spreading. The collapse of the structure intensified. The shockwaves hit the area. Flames flickered everywhere. Panic within the vicinity grew. Yi Chen shook his head helplessly at the sight. Those people are being far too loud in their methods. There were still people inside. They completely disregarded bystanders. Even if they wanted to erase the evidence, was it necessary to blow up the entire floor? If I had not saved Bai Li Bing just now, I would have essentially been the cause of her death. It would have been as if I killed her myself. I would have been responsible for her end. While Yi Chen was lost in thought, something caught the corner of his eye. He noticed a few individuals emerging from the building. They both bore the exact same tattoo on their necks. At the same time, Bai Li Bing also caught sight of them. She definitely knew that tattoo belonged to the culprits. She could not help but wonder, could this explosion be? As for the place where Bai Li Bing is, it is exactly for these forces in the midst of it, but rather, it is a pity that. But now, thinking of it, Bai Li Bing said hurriedly, I have some business. I will be back later. Boy. The golden collar. Let us settle the future troubles in an instant. The soldier followed the two people. Not long after, Bai Li Bing's soldier followed the two, and arrived at an abandoned factory in the suburbs. However, to avoid alerting the enemy, he did not report his actions to his superiors. At this time, from the shadows, he saw the two stop at a secret entrance. After searching for a long while, this might be a stronghold for the Qing sect. Then his gaze swept across the area. After bypassing 9 hidden sentries, he suddenly exerted force. Leaping up through the window, he could clearly see the situation inside. However, just as he expected, countless ruthless criminals were gathered inside, and every single one of them was armed to the teeth. Although Bai Li Bing was curious about what was inside those transported boxes, he did not dare to expose himself too much. He could only take photos secretly for evidence. The signal in this area of Jinchuan was deliberately blocked. He could not call for backup in time. Then, a blood-curdling scream rang out. He turned around and saw the two men who had just escaped the building. One was being interrogated, while the other was trembling with fear. Lord, please spare me. I really do not know anything. The building just suddenly exploded. The enforcer from the Qing sect stepped forward. To think you two trash are the only ones left alive. What is worse is, you were followed and did not even realize it. That is a capital offense. Bai Li Bing plotted to reach that so-called place. He is also an expert, with strength far beyond the norm. It was impossible not to be discovered. For a second, Bai Li Bing hesitated. The next second, Bai Li Bing no longer hesitated, bolting straight for the exit. But the burly man was even faster. In the blink of an eye, he was behind Bai Li Bing. He struck directly at Bai Li Bing's blind spot. He reached out to grab Bai Li Bing's throat directly. He said coldly, since you have come, did you really think you could walk out of our Qing sect? He slammed Bai Li Bing directly onto the ground. After the impact, the man lifted Bai Li Bing up. An evil smirk appeared at the corner of his mouth. I did not expect it to be such a young girl. I can certainly enjoy this. Bai Li. She also knew the danger. Immediately she said coldly, I am a police officer. My colleagues are already on their way. You people take. Suddenly, you think your Qing sect is above the law. As soon as she finished, she was thrown aside violently. I have killed more people in the north than you have ever seen. My hands are stained with the blood of experts. I have been in this game for years, and you think a woman like you can threaten me? Fine, I will give you a proper taste of hell.